Get your films on with the Blerds.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blerds.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Das Film Blerds. I think this is episode 125.
Yeah, 125.
125. I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J. Otis Dynamite, a.k.a. Praetorian Jeff, a.k.a. Revengeman Button, a.k.a. He Who Remains, a.k.a. Penny Ruxpin, a.k.a. Jobu Tupaki, a.k.a. Little Tom, a.k.a. This Motherfucker, a.k.a. To Be Determined, Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg. And I am joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
Hello, you fucking ball bags. We're back once again. My name is Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, a.k.a. The True Father Joe Kids, a.k.a. Papi Chulo, a.k.a. The Glizzy King, a.k.a. Mr. Krusty. It's 4th of July. So you know what that means. Take them animal crackers and shove them in there. A.k.a. The Lethal Protector, a.k.a. my biggest pet peeve is sports, because I don't like seeing grown men swallowing each other, a.k.a. It's Morbin time, a.k.a. Ezekiel Sims, bad ADR, words don't match my mouth, a.k.a. Rough McGruff, a.k.a. D's Nuts, and a.k.a. B-Wood, the Magnificent. Alright, so this is going to be a real fucking short episode, just because we're trying to catch up on a lot of shit between reviews and what we watched. So like trailers and news, that'll be for next week's episode when we do fucking Maxine and Kill. So
All right, so I guess we're gonna start with what have you been watching
lately? Yeah.
What are you watching?
All right, like the man said, we have a lot, so I'm not even gonna go through all of what I've been watching. I'll save some of that for next week, but I'll hit the highlights. So we're gonna start with the thing on HBO Max, because I won't call it Max. That you should watch is a documentary called REN FAIRE. All right, that shit is absolutely fucking hilarious. So the show is a 3-part documentary on one of the best REN fairs in the United States, and the machinations that go on behind the scenes, right? Because it's ran by this old, decrepit man who is like the king of this place, right? And he actually bought so much land that he turned the REN Fair into a town. So not only does he run the REN Fair, he's the mayor of the fucking town, right? And he's trying to sell this place to whoever just so he can retire and fuck young bitches. Like literally, that is a storyline. All he wants to do is fuck young bitches. And this dude is wrinkled like a ball bag. If he's 85, I'm underselling how old he is.
I mean, not for nothing. Yo, I mean, good-looking women do be going to the REN Fair.
Yeah. But he's not trying to even fuck REN Fair checks, right? He's got his own personal assistant, right? He's got like everybody works for him. His personal assistant, his job is to go on like Plenty of Fish and all these sites.
That's worse. That's even worse.
Set up dates for this dude, right?
That's worse.
And this dude's like a millionaire, right? Like he is swimming in money, right? But all the dates he goes on, he takes them to fucking Olive Garden.
Well,
right?
Yeah, because you got to stay rich, right?
Look. I get it.
You gotta stay rich,
right? Look.
Yo, taking bitches on dates, it kills your pockets real quick.
Look, I get it, but like, come on, man. Like, maybe Cheesecake Factory. Do like step your game up, son. But and so it's like everybody like it focuses on three parties, three of like his minions who are trying to take over, right? And they're all vying for his affections. It's like Game of Thrones if it were real and a comedy. And this is totally 100% real. And it's the thing about this documentary, it's shot incredibly well. It's not shot like a standard documentary. It's shot like an A24 film. So we're talking like fucking lens flares, bokeh, Russian lenses, the flashbacks and everything like that are immaculately planned out. This is one of the most creatively shot and beautiful documentaries I've ever seen. And the fact that it's absolutely fucking cringy and hilarious only makes it better. So if you have a fucking chance to watch Ren Fair on HBO Max, do that shit. Do it. Oh, moving on from there. We're going to talk about Them the Scare. It's on Amazon Prime. Fuck Amazon Prime for a lot of different reasons. But, you know, like when they put out a show, they put out a show, right? The Scare, the Scare is season 2 of Them, which is a black themed horror show, right? And the Scare is, once again, it's like an A24 film, right? It's shot beautifully, it's acted well, it's creepy as fuck, scary as fuck. It's not nearly as black trauma-y as the first season. This is more a standard sort of horror show, right? It does have callbacks to the first season because, like, you watching the first couple of episodes, you don't you just think it's gonna be like an anthology, right? You think like the second season is gonna be like just new black people in a different time, in a different fucking time. So halfway through the show, you realize it does have a connection to the first season. Like I said, it is beautifully shot. It is, like I said, scary as fuck. And we've said this before. Black people love horror. And we've been doing horror films like since the fucking 50s, right? But we don't talk about that, right? We don't talk about like how black people are steeped in horror cinema.
I mean, one of the most influential horror movies of all time, right? Came out at the height of fucking Jim Crow and segregation. Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
George A. Romero, he said this in multiple interviews. I purposefully casted a black man because to all the white people in the room, he might as well be one of the zombies. So when the police show up spoiler, when the police show up at the end...
It's a 60-year-old movie. You ain't spoiling shit.
So when the police show up at the end and the first thing they do is shoot him and then shoot the white people, they shoot him because, he's black, first off. And then they shoot the other people just because in George Romero's mind, before he passed, he said, one, they weren't trustworthy of the white people with this black dude. So basically they're black by proxy. And then two, the zombie apocalypse, they're just going to shoot anything. And I was just like, damn, it's wild how all the themes of Night of the Living Dead, a low budget horror film, which has only gotten its props in like the past 20 years.
Right.
Ain't shit changed since then.
And like, that's the thing that I loved about horror and that we've kind of gotten away from is horror films used to have a message, right? It was
social commentary.
Social commentary. It was subtle at sometimes, but it had something to say. It just wasn't like nudity and gore. And hopefully we're getting back to that. With Jordan Peele and Little Marvin, what he's doing with The Scare, and Nia DaCosta.
Yo,
Uh,
because what's it called? Jordan Peele just announced last week his next movie is October 20. It's 26 or 28. October 26 or 28, 2026.
yeah, so it's gonna be a horror film, you know.
Yeah, I mean the font of the date. I was just like over the fire background. I was like, oh, is he going to hell? Or are we making a trip to hell?
We'll see. We'll see. Moving on from that, uh, on Netflix, there is a show called Loudermilk, right? And Loudermilk, it's been bouncing around from like streaming service to streaming service, and I guess it finally got its legs on Netflix. So, uh, one of my boys posted about it on Facebook, and I was like, all right, let me fucking check this thing out. It's actually pretty hilarious, right? It is. It was created by one of the Farley brothers. Who's the one who did the Green Book? Was that Bobby or was that Peter? I think that was
Peter.
Peter Farley.
Peter.
Yeah, right. So it's written, uh, and most of the episodes are directed by Peter Farley. And this, to me, is old school Farley brothers, right? It's got all the things that the Farley brothers have, like abrasive people, um, awkward situations, a predisposition to like casting differently abled people in prime roles. And like I didn't want to like this show, but I ended up binging the whole entire series in a weekend. It's about a recovering alcoholic who runs a like their version of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? And it's all the interactions and life troubles that he goes through with his group and shit like that. It's really good, right? Until it's not. It's kind of heartfelt. If you've had to deal with any kind of family issues, trauma like that, it kind of hits you, right? It's genuinely better than I expected it to be. And it makes me sort of like wonder what the fuck happened with was it Stanicki?
Ricky
Was it
Stenicki.
Ricky Stanicki? Like what the fuck happened with the Green Book and Ricky Stanicki? The fucking Farley brothers used to be fucking beautiful.
You tell me, man. I ain't watched Ricky Stenicki. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, no, like like I've talked about Ricky Stinkey. It's like so it makes me wonder, like, what the fuck happened to the Farley brothers? Because this was like the last thing Bobby or the Peter Farley worked on before Ricky Stinicki, and the quality drop is just fucking night and day, right? So if you were a big fan of the Farleys in the '90s and shit like that, check out Laudermilk. It's it hits all of those prime Farley brothers points. Moving on from that, we're gonna move into The Boys season 4 / Generation V, Gen V. I really fuck with The Boys, right? Like I fucked with the comic books before it was even made into a show, and then the first 3 seasons of the show I'm deep into. Season 4, it's now it's not even trying to hide. It wasn't trying to hide its politics before, but now it's like super fucking obvious. Like it's not even deconstruction on the hero mythos like Snyder pretends to do, right? It's really it's a deconstruction on American culture in just an extreme, super violent way. I'm loving season 4. It's not the best of the seasons thus far, but even the worst season of The Boys seems to be better than a lot of the Marvel DC shit we've been getting. And it does Snyder better than Snyder, honestly. And Gen V is a deconstruction on youth culture and like TikTok culture, blah 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 blah, and it's good. I didn't want to, I didn't want to like it. When I say I didn't want to like it, is like it seemed like okay, we're just gonna do a spinoff just to do a spinoff, but it's honestly really well written and well acted. Amazon sometimes like most of Amazon honestly is slept on for their original content. Because they will put out really quality shows, and most of the time, they're hitters, but they'll cancel that shit in a heartbeat. You know, which is sad. So that's why whenever anything comes on Amazon that I really like, I don't get too attached to it because I know there's a good chance it'll get canceled. But The Boys season 4 and Generation V, I'm digging it so far. Moving on from that, we're gonna get into movies. I finally saw In a Violent Nature, which I think we talked about last show or 2 shows ago.
It was
that
2
you saw.
shows ago. Last
That
show
you-
you were under the weather.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't hear. In a Violent Nature, it's fine, right?
I liked it, right? I liked it a lot.
Okay, and like I can understand how you like it a lot. I appreciate it's like one of these movies where I appreciate what they did and how they did it, but I didn't like the movie. There are some parts of it that were inspired, right? And some of the scenes were genuinely anxiety filling. But there was a lot of stuff like, and I get what they were doing. They were trying to make a horror film from the viewpoint of the killer and yada 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 yada. But sometimes it felt like I was playing a video game. Right?
To me, it was like watching Terrence Malick do Friday the 13th Part 2.
Right, and that's what in the interviews, that's what they said they were going for. It just, to me, it was the way that the camera moved, and like seeing, like, and like reading about it, because like I read about the making of this film because I was fascinated by what they did. Right, not so much the movie, but what they did, and seeing like how they made it. Like, yeah, I understand why the camera moved like that because they put a heavier camera on a consumer grade gimbal. They tried to make it work. And so a lot of that shit bothered me, right? Like the way that the camera would drift because they couldn't get it balanced, right? And that's more like a nerd technical thing to me. But to me, that shit matters, right? Because when I watch an independent film, if I see the camera shake, that tells me a lot about how you take your craft. All in all, it's a valid entry in the fucking Returns from the Dead, Psycho Killer, Unstoppable Killing Machine, fucking Pantheon. But like next time, some of those long takes, I would just like fucking cut that shit, right? Because some of those long takes were really excruciatingly long, and it took me out of it.
That's why I love it.
Yeah, like so that last scene where she's in the truck,
Yeah,
and they're having a conversation,
yeah.
like that bothered me so fucking much.
See, I loved all that shit because it's the tension.
No, like it was when she parked the car.
Not even
right?
when they were driving, because you just don't know. Like that motherfucker. Once you see the movie, for people listening, once you
Right.
see the movie, you'll understand why. Like that motherfucker is unstoppable.
Right, yeah, like 100% unstoppable. And like the woodshed scene, that to me just seemed
Comical.
Like-
Yeah, that was comical because you could
Yeah.
see the prosthetics. Like everybody was making. Here's the thing. Before I went to go see it, everybody's like, "Oh, don't eat before you see it. It is
Yeah.
graphic." And then I watched it. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Bro,
it's like-
this is
it's-
not that bad."
It's not. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fine.
I was like, bro, if you've seen a horror movie, this is on par with any other horror movie.
I've seen much grosser shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like to me, it wasn't even the prosthetics because I can get away. I can suspend disbelief with that shit. It's just it was fucking overkill, like how he did it, and it made no fucking sense. Right?
I mean,
like, why are you gonna chop off this motherfucker's arm? Right?
And then his head, like cut off the head. Yeah, just cut off his head.
Right. But the yoga scene, like everyone was like, "Oh, the yoga
Yeah, that
scene."
shit was wild.
Like, okay,
that shit was wild. That was that is one of the wildest kills I've ever seen in a slasher movie ever. Like that shit was crazy.
Right. I was like, "Yo, you didn't have to do that." Like
their whole budget went to that.
Right. And so that's why I have mixed feelings with this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's actually fucking brilliant.
Yo, because that shit, I was just like, damn, that came from a place of hate.
Right.
That shit came from like a real place of hate. And I was just like,
that motherfucker was going through some shit like, when they wrote that.
I was just like, why couldn't you do that to old boy who was a douchebag? The one who started the whole shit.
Yeah. But
bro, you want to fuck my girl? Is that why you're here?
And like that's the thing. Like none of the like that is like the third kill, right?
Yeah.
Like they blew their wad too early because everything after that is like does not live up to that shit.
Yo, because the first kill was gnarly, and that kill was gnarly.
Yeah,
and then the second kill was suspenseful. Like that shit was suspenseful as fuck.
With the dude in the tree?
No, the water. The dude in the tree was the first kill.
I count the old man in the house as the first kill.
Even though you don't remember how he died.
Like they tried to be obscure about it. Like they tried to be Gus Van Sant about it. Like you don't actually see the kill, but you see like off in the distance, like the body. And that's another thing. Like before I forget, that's another thing I did not dig about this movie is the sound design.
Why?
Okay.
I like that crunch, crunch, crunch as he walked.
No, that was fine. It's when people talked, right? So he was trying to make the director was trying to make a realistic slasher film, right? Like first person, whatever like that. It's the little things that matter, right? So this dude, this killer, Johnny or whatever like that, is far off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's listening to these conversations and he's walking towards the people, whatever like that. It's the same volume and clarity throughout his walk, right? His approach, right? So he could have been 100 feet back, 200 feet back. It was just as clear audibly as it was when he's 3 feet away, right? I think, to me, if they had made it so as the dude approaches, as Johnny approaches, the sound changed, right? It got louder and more discernible. I think like a little thing like that would have sold the movie to me better.
I'm more forgiving of that because A, it's supposed to be a throwback to old slashers where they didn't really think like that, right? They didn't really think like that back in the day. And then two, it's a super low budget movie.
And I give it a pass. But like if they had done a little bit more work with that type of shit, I think I would have actually enjoyed the movie more. All right? But fuck, it's better than Terrifier.
I'll be real with you. I wouldn't mind a sequel to this shit.
Yeah, I think if they got a better budget, right? And like they stopped getting in their own way, because I was reading about like the shit, because they reshot the film.
Oh, did they?
Right? Yeah. So like the dude who played the serial killer, the dude who played Johnny got sick. Right? And they were 75% done. Right? And instead of like, let's do the rest of the movie with whoever they recast as,
right?
They reshot the entire movie with the new dude.
Why the fuck would you do that though?
It kind of makes sense. It's still stupid, but it makes sense what the reasoning was. All right, because it's because we spend so much time with this character, right? You would have noticed the change in size, gait, everything like that. You would have noticed it was a different character or a different actor, right? Because we spend all this time with him, right? Unlike other slasher movies where, like I said, it makes sense, but it's stupid, right?
That is the fault of the casting director. That's the casting director's entire job. If one dude gets sick, you find somebody who has the same build, the same white, and then you show them the dailies. It's like, hey, walk like this, move like this. That's the whole purpose of fucking acting.
I like,
Yeah,
and I
that's fucking
get it,
stupid.
and like
Especially
I get it.
since we don't, when we do see the killer's face, it's all fucking
It's all fucked up,
degraded.
right?
And because he's dead, it's
Yeah.
it's literally a dead a revenant walking around killing people.
Right. Yeah. So like it like in a way it made sense to me, but it was still stupid. And also they reshot the whole entire thing because the director didn't like the location that they had before. It didn't look like it was lumberjack territory.
So then
And
why the fuck didn't you think of that before you started shooting?
Man, I know.
That is
See?
filmmaking 101.
I
Also,
know.
no offense to him, you make the best with what you got.
Right. Right. If we like for me, if I had shot 75% of this fucking film, right? I'm not reshooting
Oh
the
yeah.
entire fucking
No,
thing.
fuck no.
I'll
Yo,
find
listen, it still to me doesn't come across as lumberjack territory. It just comes across
as
as
woods. As
right.
the woods.
Right. So they failed on that front. That's fucking stupid. It's
Yeah.
really fucking stupid.
See?
And
Like,
that just pisses me off. That's
Yeah.
fucking stupid and pretentious. Fuck you.
yeah,
Fuck you.
like I said, like I've got mixed feelings with this movie. And like the fact that I actually had to do some research on it because I had these mixed feelings tells you something about it. But like all throughout these articles I read, this dude was like, yeah, I was trying to do what Gus Van Sant did with Jerry and Elephant and stuff like that. And we'll get to, like after we do this, I will get into my next movie.
Jerry is a good, I want to say this real quick. Jerry's a good movie, but it's also a movie I would never watch again because as much as I enjoyed it, that shit is slow, methodical, and at times boring.
Yeah. And that's what they were like. That's what the director he stated. Like, I wanted to do like Gus Van Sant meets Terrence Malick, right? They got the Terrence Malick part down,
Right.
and unfortunately, they got the Gus Van Sant thing down because we're moving on. My next movie is I finally saw Drugstore Cowboy.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I've only made it like halfway through before I turn it off every time.
Yeah. Me too. Like I got 75% through, and I was like, I can't. Like I've tried to watch this thing 4 times in a
same.
day, right?
Same.
I think Gus Van Sant is overrated. Like,
I'm not gonna argue with you there. I like Homie, but like I'm not gonna argue with you.
right? Like besides, besides, I can't even think of it. The thing with the fucking Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Casey.
No, the fucking the one the won them the Oscar.
Oh, what's that nigga's name called?
With Robin Williams.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Besides Good Will Hunting, right? I don't like that's definitely Gus Van Sant's best movie.
Well, let's see. Let's look at this nigga's over. I still haven't seen My Own Private Idaho.
Yeah.
I'll get around to it. Still haven't
Exactly.
seen To Die For.
To Die For and Good Will Hunting is 2 best movies.
Psycho. I like Psycho because my nigga had the audacity to remake do a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho. Vince Vaughn totally miscast. Like, I don't mind any of the casting besides Vince Vaughn, where I'm just like, nah, you're not Norman Bates, bro.
Right, like he's too smooth. And for me, with the Psycho, it's the run up the stairs. Right? When the homie's running up the stairs and like his ass is jiggling, it's like, come on, man.
My favorite thing about Psycho is the only reason this happened and the only reason it got made is literally Gus Van Sant till this day was like, yeah, I just wanted to see what Psycho would look like in color.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I was like, he was like, yeah, there was no reason to remake it. I just wanted to see Psycho in color.
Yeah, like that's believing, that's smelling your own farts right there. That's some fucking, all right. That's dick out, right? Like that's
All right, so Finding Forrester is a decent movie.
that's the you're the man now, dog.
Yeah,
right?
yep,
Yeah, okay,
yep.
yeah. It's okay. It's all right.
Jerry,
Yeah,
and then Elephant, which I just haven't seen.
right.
Last Days, which I did see, which was all right. And then the Paranoid Park, which I didn't see.
Right.
Milk, I still haven't seen. People say is amazing.
I haven't seen Milk. All right, so
yeah, that's basically like the last thing he made that people love was Milk, because then he did Restless, which I don't even know what this shit is. I've never even heard of it.
Isn't it a remake or something?
Nah. Promised Land. Okay, yeah, that was good. Never mind. Promised Land was good. That was the Matt Damon, John Krasinski movie about fracking.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
remember. Yeah, that shit was good. I remember that. I was like,
Right.
oh shit. Dave Eggers came up with the story for this shit. Oh no, okay, never mind. I was like, I thought he was related to Rob. The Sea of Trees.
Nope, never even heard of that shit.
That's the one where that's literally what the forest is called in Japan. It's literally called the Suicide Forest or the Sea of Trees, because people in Japan go to that forest to commit suicide.
Gotcha.
So it stars Ken Watanabe and Matthew McConaughey, and both of them go to that forest to kill themselves, and they just happen upon each other. And then they, after talking to each other, they both decide they want to live, but then they get lost. That's another reason why people die, because motherfuckers get lost in there. They have a change of heart and get lost.
That sounds interesting.
And then the last movie he did was a Netflix movie right before COVID hit called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Jonah Hill, Rooney Mara, and Jack Black. Based on a memoir of the same name.
Okay. Well, look, I still think he's overrated. I'm not saying he's bad, but Drugstore Cowboy, no, thank you. But in A Violent Nature, like the director 100% said, like, I am trying to do Gus Van Sant horror movie. So,
yo, Drugstore Cowboy just has that song stuck in my head now.
What? Which one?
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Yeah. It's for whatever reason, I thought when I was gonna start watching Drugstore Cowboy, it was gonna be like Permanent Midnight.
Like a drugstore cowboy.
All right, that's for the people out there. That's gonna be stuck in your head forever. like a drugstore cowboy. That's gonna be in my fucking head all day. God damn it.
Man, when I was a kid, when I was like a shorty, that shit, you could not escape that shit if I wanted to. Like, that shit was everywhere on TV, on the radio. I was like, fuck, I don't want to be a rhinestone cowboy, god damn it.
You gotta go to Vegas for that. And we're gonna, like, I got a longer list, but we're just gonna leave off on, because I've been trying to talk about this thing for like 2 months, but I keep on forgetting to talk about it. I finally just saw Just Another Girl on the IRT.
Oh shit, how is that shit? Damn, really?
I see what they were trying to do, right? All right, so Just Another Girl on the IRT, for people who don't know, it was like a 92 indie darling film. It's one of like the first Miramax acquisitions, right? And like they made a big deal about it because it was like a female black director, an all black cast and shit like that. And it's like that early 90s shit, right? the story is mid, right? You like it's the story is 100% Lifetime movie, and the acting is absolutely atrocious, right? Because the main character, instead of it's because it's about a teenage girl who's like going through life and shit like that, in the Queens, right, or the Bronx or whatever like that, in one of the boroughs. Her acting, instead of like any kind of nuance or subtlety, it's just her fucking yelling, right, and screaming and being angry, but like yelling and screaming and being angry, right? And so the whole entire movie is a bunch of teenage girls just being loud, and it's grating.
Have you come across this where you watch like an acclaimed indie and you finally sit down and watch it and you're just like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
I found that a lot. Like I still have to watch Girl Fight, which blew up Michelle Rodriguez. That
Right,
people are
right.
like, you got to see it, you got to see it.
I haven't seen like it's been on my
Uh,
list for like fucking 15 years.
Real Women Have Curves. People are like, you got to see it, you got to see it. And I'm like, all
Right.
right. And like all these indies, like Watermelon Woman, another movie, New York
Mhm.
indie. People are like, yo, you got to see it. And like every time I see these indies, I'm just like, sure.
Right. And I don't know if it's like the time frame in which it comes out, or it's just like when a black director does something, like does a movie, and it's like halfway competent, it gets blown up out of proportion because they don't expect that shit from us. They don't expect competency from us, right? They don't expect like any sort of good movie because they like they expect to be originals, right? Or to be hood movies from us.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same thing with like Just Another Girl in the IRT or Girl Fight or Watermelon Woman. Like they don't expect female minority filmmakers to do anything with any kind of competency, right?
Right.
So they kind of blow it up out of proportion, right? Because it's okay, it's fine.
The only indie movie recently where everybody was making a big deal about it and I didn't see it till much later and I was like, "Oh, that lived up to the hype," was
Right.
First off, the writer, Chloe Zhao's the writer. And second off, Nia DaCosta's Little Woods. I still think Little Woods is Nia DaCosta's best movie.
Is that the superhero one?
No. Little Woods is Tessa Thompson and Lily James in rural Arkansas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But
her
like
first feature.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a try. But like Just Another Girl in the IRT, it's an hour and a half of teenage girls yelling at each other and overacting and slamming doors. Yeah, it does. It's. I mean, I'm glad it opened doors, I guess, for indie cinema in the early '90s. But it's not good.
So that sucks to hear. Because Criterion's been pushing that one on Criterion Channel for me for like ever since I've had it. That and Watermelon Woman, I'm like, I'll get to it, guys. I'll get to it.
I think like you owe it to yourself to watch it to say that you watched it, but like don't go in expecting anything. Like I said, the story, you've literally seen the story a million times.
All right.
Done better.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So that's all I got for this week. We'll get to the rest of my list next week, and I'll add some new shit to it. So Brandon, what have you watched lately?
All right. As always, I'm gonna start with TV. Clipped ended. I didn't realize it was 6 episodes. I thought it was gonna be like 8. It's fine. I really liked it, but I think that last episode, I was just like, y'all didn't bring this in cleanly.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
I wasn't really fucking with it. It is what it is. Moving on. Knuckles on Paramount Plus. I kind of just wish I just skipped this and went straight to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Honestly, you can, because this shit is so inconsequential to the overall story. I mean, the best episode was the first episode when it was him and Sonic and Tails just fucking up the house, and Tika Sumpter's like, "The fuck, Knuckles."
Yeah, like this is I enjoyed it because it felt like a throwback to like an 80s kids movie. But I can like I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
They spent a lot of money on it, but it also still looks cheap. Like the Sonic movies look much better than this fucking show.
Right. And like the story beats
Is bullshit.
Right, like it makes no sense. But like I said, I still enjoyed the fuck out of it. It was yeah. But I get it.
And damn, Carrie Eulis, you down that bad?
I mean, like what's he besides this? What's he done? Like he's
been in Mad Guy Ritchie shit.
Yeah, but he's not like the Dread Pirate Roberts anymore, man. He's the old man now. He's got to make money.
Yeah, fucking goddamn. Moving on. Tales from the Loop on Amazon Prime. This dropped during the pandemic, and this show's been in limbo. Like it hasn't been canceled, but it hasn't been renewed for a second season. It's just there.
I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I really dug it. And then like I just didn't get back into it to finish out the season.
Yeah, because it's slow. And I watched the entire shit, and I get why there hasn't been a second season, because it is basically the story's done, but there probably could be more people to be told in this universe, but it's like watching Black Mirror with a heart.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the thing about Tales from the Loop, which I found fascinating, it's all based on the art of one guy.
Yeah, from the book of the same name. It's a picture book, because the dude just created this. Everybody does retro future shit, and it always looks dope. So I get why like people would see the art book, because you watch the show and you're like, oh, this is a retro future show, and you could definitely see like somebody read the art book and is like, oh, let's come up with a story, and it definitely feels like that.
Right.
It feels it is slow. Like I don't mind slow shit, but this shit is fucking slow.
No, it's
slow and it's sad. That's the other problem. And I'm like, this shit came out at the height of the pandemic. No wonder it just came and went, because if I had Amazon during the height of the pandemic, I wouldn't watch this shit.
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out because I really dug that dude's art. I was like, all right, let me see what they do with it. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful show. But like I said, I got to the 4th episode. It was like, I need to take a break. And I took a break.
You just never came back.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. They got A+ directors for this shit too. Like Mark Romanek does the first one. Andrew Stanton does episode 4. It's like high profile directors did episodes of this shit. But yeah, man, I mean,
yeah, no, right, yeah.
It like I'm not saying it's bad, because it's not. It's a good show. It's just I don't know if I could recommend it to anybody.
You have to be a certain type of person,
right,
to enjoy this show, right? And you got to be in a certain mindset.
Like no offense to anybody, but like the best. There's only 2 episodes I would tell people to watch. It is episode 1 and episode 4.
Episode 4. That's the one with the town, right? The one with the two kids in the town by themselves.
No, that's episode 3.
Okay, so I never got past episode 3.
Yeah, episode 4 is the little brother and the grandpa, played by Jonathan. Oh man, I forget Jonathan Pryce, I think his name is.
Yeah, I didn't get to that episode.
Yeah. All right, moving on. CSI Vegas watched the last season. You know what, man? This 3rd season, everybody became so unlikable and was just making bad decisions from the jump. I'm like, this show has definitely dipped in quality. And look, it's canceled, and it only got canceled just because CBS wasn't making enough money off the ads. Like, they said the ratings were good, And actually, if you look at the ratings for this show, they are higher than any show on NBC, ABC, or Fox. That's how much people watch CBS.
So, and this is a larger problem because Paramount is fucking in free fall
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But like, if you have one of the highest rated shows on TV,
Oh, no. Here's the thing. For CBS, it was decent. That's how many people watch CBS. Like, it wasn't the lowest rated show on their network, but
Right.
it also wasn't the highest. The reason it got canceled is because of the ad revenue and because people didn't want to put their ads in this show. Because
that's the fucking ad, that's marketing's fault, right? That's
and when they canceled it, they were like, "Yeah, we promised the fans of the franchise that CSI is not dead," and they're right because they announced the real CSI Miami, where we're gonna follow crime scene investigators in Miami in real life. It's like a reality show. Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, all right." And I felt bad because Mark Hellenberger just came out. She's like, I left Catherine Willows behind for a reason. And then they convinced me to come back. I come back only for this to end.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry. Fucking Paramount, what are you fucking Viacom? What the fuck are you doing?
Also, it's the writer's fault because, like, this season, I was like, damn, this is a huge dip in quality from even the first one. Like, season 2 was great. I thought season 1 was decent. Because it was originally supposed to be just that first season. It was supposed to be like a mini series.
Right. I thought it was just supposed to be a one-off.
Yeah, it was. It was. And so when they announced season 2, William Peterson's like, "Yo, fuck you. No. I only agreed to do a mini series."
Right.
And then they're like, "All right, so Georgia, you're gonna stay?" She's like, "We split up Grissom and Sarah so many times. There cannot be Grissom and Sarah separate." She's like, "I'm not gonna do that to the characters. I'm not gonna do that to the fans. So if William's not coming back, I'm not coming back." So they reached out to Georgia, and they reached out to Mark Hellenberger, and she came in season 2 back as Catherine. And even in season 2, they got Greg back for like a whole stint of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even like steeped in CSI to know like anyone beyond Georgia, just because I find her oddly attractive.
What, with the gap teeth?
Yeah, like there's something about she's strange, beautiful.
Yo, listen, if it wasn't for Memento, she wouldn't have gotten that role in CSI. Because the producer saw Memento, they're like, "All right, yeah, so let's cast her."
Right. But yeah, beyond her and Marge Helgenberger and like William Peterson, I don't know any of the motherfuckers on the show.
Yeah, Warwick Brown played by Gary Darden. That nigga lost his mind.
Yeah, I got a story about Gary Darden. We might be meeting him soon.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Hope you don't get your face ripped off. I've just heard wild stories like that. I heard that nigga's just lost his mind.
He's better now.
Okay,
he's better now.
Yeah, man. Nick Stokes, but like they're just why bring it back if this is what if you're gonna just cancel it?
Cash grab, baby. That's all it is. Yeah.
Apparently press people who got the final episode before the show was canceled, they leaked the final scene up on the internet because it just hard cuts to black after the camera tilts through the office. After the tilt down to the office, it was going to tilt down to a campsite. And in this campsite, people are camping, and then you see people get murdered, and that's how it ends, because that was supposed to set up the next season where they're trying to find, this dude, apparently it's specifically a serial killer who goes around killing campers.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean,
that would have been cool. They cut that teaser, so.
Well, because they're gonna probably the next spinoff, right? Because after this reality show fails, We're gonna get fucking CSI Ozarks.
I mean, let this shit run for at least 5 seasons, right? You might as well. It's a known brand, you're 3 seasons in, you might as well just give it another 2.
All right, and here's the thing, like you said, the ratings weren't bad. They weren't horrible. People were watching it, right? And it's still like compared to CBS, the numbers were low, but compared to like all the other networks being the highest rated show, right? That's got to say something, right?
Well, I just found out that even the lowest rated show on CBS, like the lowest rated show, is still higher than every other network. And I'm just like, so then what the fuck are y'all doing just canceling shit? Like they canceled, I know people were pissed they canceled NCIS Hawaii. And I was just like,
Right.
a lot of people really love that show. But also my thing is, I'm like, there's 10 of those motherfuckers.
And like, here's the thing, CBS, for the most part, it's a certain demographic of people
Right.
who watch CBS shows, right?
Right.
Like your grandma watches CBS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like CSI was really the only thing I fucked with on CBS.
Right.
Like I like everybody's trying to tell me like, yo, watch The Good Wife and then watch the spinoff, The Good Fight, and then watch the new spinoff, Elsbeth. And I was just like, I don't want to watch some soap opera shit. Like I gave Scandal 4 seasons, and then after the 4th season, I was just like, I think I'm good.
Never watched Scandal. Like
It was on Netflix. That's why I watched it
Right.
all on Netflix. And like the first 2 seasons, I'm like, damn, this is some good soap opera shit. And then
Right.
like after 2nd season, I was just like, eh.
Yeah, like I've got no reason not to watch Scandal besides the fact that like I don't have the time. Right? And
That's
like
the same thing with ER. Like I keep trying to watch ER and I can't make it past like the first 3 episodes.
I mean, look, I didn't even start getting into ER until like the 3rd season, right?
Nah, see, I want to watch the 1st season so that way I could at least watch Tarantino's episode because Tarantino did an episode of ER.
Yeah, and like
The 1st season.
some of those episodes of ER are hard, right? Like the Mekhi Phifer episode, and like if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. But the Mekhi Phifer episode was fucking heartbreaking. And like I don't want to like when you like I want you to see this episode once you've started getting in. I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd season. I don't want to give it away, but like very rarely am I shocked by some shit and affected, but that episode, woo, it lives with me.
I need you to do me something though, because I
Yeah.
keep saying this every time I talk about this fucking show. You have Hulu or Paramount Plus, one of the two?
I got Hulu, yeah.
Okay. CSI is on Hulu.
Uh-huh.
Start it and watch like the first few episodes, and I'm guaranteed you're gonna get hooked.
Like CSI or CSI Miami?
I ain't talking about the spinoffs. I'm
Right.
talking about the OG CSI crime scene investigation.
I used to like watch, like I never watched it constantly, but I would watch episodes. I've seen CSI and like when I watched it, I fucked with it.
Yeah,
Right?
so do me a favor. Watch those first 5 seasons, right?
All
And
right,
you'll
all
come
right.
back. You'll be like, damn, Brandon, that was good. I'll be like, all right, give it. So since you like that, watch it till season 7. Because season
Okay.
7 is when Grissom leaves. And that's when they bring in Lawrence Fishburne. And if you like Lawrence Fishburne's character, which I did, and a lot of the fucking CSI fandom didn't. And I was like, yeah, because y'all motherfuckers probably racist.
It's right, yeah. A Negro. No.
Right. They hated him. And Lawrence Fishburne lasted 3 seasons. And then for the rest of the show, after Lawrence Fishburne left, they brought in Ted Danson. And then everybody's like, oh, I love this character. I love Ted Danson. And I was just like, yeah, because y'all motherfuckers are racist. And
Right.
honestly, once Lawrence Fishburne left, that's when I hopped off the show.
Right. Okay.
So give it the first 5 seasons and let me
Alright.
know what you think. And then after, that's the prime of CSI. Like, I'll be real with you. The first 5 seasons. And then after season, it dips in quality, but it's still decent to watch from 6 to 9.
Right.
And once Lawrence Fishburne leaves, that's to me when the show died.
The Ted Danson years.
Yeah, that's so Seasons 10, 11, and 12 are Ted Danson.
Goddamn, that
And they
show was on
brought in
forever.
Elizabeth Shue. And even Elizabeth Shue, everybody's like, this is a great actress, but this character fucking blows. I'm like, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was after fucking 12 seasons, you run out of fucking steam.
And how many spinoffs? Because they had Miami, New York, I think it was Cyber with Bow Wow and Patricia Arquette.
All right, and then wait, New York that was with Gary Sinise, right?
Yeah, I watched a few episodes of New York. Not bad, not bad. Like I want to give it a shot when I have get some more over this hump. But like, yeah, CSI Cyber. I didn't watch the first season, but I watched the second season. The second season had so CSI Cyber started in the last season of the OG, and that's how that show's introduced. Is like they're like, this is a cyber crime, and Ted Danson's character's like, well, I know somebody in Washington because I'm well-rounded, well-traveled person, and they call in Patricia Arquette, and that's how they set up that whole shit. And so once the OG CSI ended, Ted Danson went on CSI Cyber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, bro,
but you're a forensics pathologist. Why are you in cybercrime? Like those two degrees don't mix, right?
And what's funny is I remember when right before that show got canceled, Ted Danson's like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like, I'm not coming back for the third season. And then a couple of weeks later, CBS was like, well, you know, there ain't gonna be no third season.
Well, Ted Danson spoke into existence.
Yeah. But yeah, CSI Vegas. I don't know. Maybe legacy sequels work, and they work very rarely. Like the only time I can think of legacy sequels working, Top Gun Maverick, and to a certain extent Tron, but barely.
I can't even remember half of Tron Legacy. I just remember it was fucking Jeff Bridges doing an amalgamation of the Dude and Rooster Cogburn. It was like he's cosplaying himself.
It was funny because he's just like, when people called him out on that, he's like, no, that's how Flynn always was. And you watch the fucking first movie, you're like,
I was like, nope.
Yeah, Flynn's a little aloof and maybe like a little hippie-ish, but he was never like, hey, man.
Right, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Wow. When's the new Tron coming out?
Next year.
Next year? Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing a trailer soon. I'm surprised they haven't dropped a trailer now, quite honestly.
I will say. I mean, we might see one in front of Deadpool.
Yeah. We'll probably see another Marvel movie. I guess we'll be either getting... Honestly, they might do all three. They might give us the trailers for Cap, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four. They might do all three.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I don't care. Like after Deadpool and Wolverine, like I don't care.
I just like I said, I doubt it's gonna be good, but I hope Fantastic Four is good just because, like, again, if they fuck this up, that's it.
Right. Well, that's 3 strikes and you're out, right? Like
4.
So this will be. That's right. I forgot. I keep on forgetting about the Josh Trank.
So you forgetting about the Roger Corman one too?
No, like I'm counting the Roger Corman.
Okay,
one.
Yeah. So
right,
yeah,
I forgot
Roger
about Josh
Corman.
Trank.
Then you got the 2 Tim
Stories, yeah,
and then you got the Josh Trank. You can't even say that's his movie because it's really not.
It's Fox's movie.
Right. That's a Fox Simon Kinberg thing because Simon Kinberg kind of sabotaged that movie and sabotaged my homie's career. That nigga was supposed to do Boba Fett, and he went over and said, Kathleen, don't hire him. He's erratic.
Yeah, but he's erratic, but he's not a child molester.
I would also like to say, who the fuck are you, Simon Kinberg? Because like you, Ain't like ain't like your batting average is great either.
I mean, did he see his own movie, The 355? Did he see that? Did he see the movie that he made?
Dark Phoenix sucked too.
Still have not. I can't bring myself to watch that.
Imagine X-Men: The Last Stand, except somehow worse. And it takes itself so serious too. It's trying to be like the Christopher Nolan of it's supposed to be like the Dark Knight trilogy of the X-Men series.
Yeah, no, like the last X-Men movie for me was Days of Future Past, right? Like, and I barely liked that one, as opposed to like First Class.
Right. So here's the thing where they fucked up, right? After Days of Future Past, probably should have ended the prequel series with Apocalypse. Like, that honestly should have been the last fucking movie.
Right.
And then you give us another X-Men movie with the OG cast, because that's what we all were like, yeah, everybody at the end of Days of Future Past, we're all like, yeah, fuck yeah. And that never happened. We just went straight into Logan and everybody's dead again. And we're just like, oh, fuck us, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I would have been fine if we never got, like, after Days of Future Past, when like the timeline is corrected, like if that was it, like I wasn't even calling for another movie with the OG cast. I was fine with that. Just to like see them and see like
I would have loved another movie with them.
I mean, I would have loved it, but like I knew it was gonna, like, because it was probably gonna be Bryan Singer again, and he was gonna fuck, like, Bryan Singer, despite his best efforts, made a pretty decent movie with Days of Future Past
and X2.
Right? No, but I'm just saying, like, I'll give you like the original, like the first two X movies,
right?
Days of Future Past,
okay,
right? But I'm just saying, to me, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. Bryan Singer accidentally makes good movies.
Right.
All right. Like, yeah.
I mean, look, I ain't even gonna argue with you there, but look. All right, moving on. I'm gonna get into the last thing I'm gonna talk about with TV, which is My Adventures with Superman. And this season, somehow better than the first season, because I love the first season. Like, to me, Batman the Animated Series, one of the best iterations of Batman, one of the best television shows ever created.
Still, yeah.
Superman the Animated Series, can't even touch that. Like, I still enjoy that show, and they have mad crossovers between the two shows. Still good. Not coming anywhere near that, right?
Yeah,
this is Batman, go ahead.
Because Batman the Animated Series, that was art, right? And like Superman the Animated Series, it just felt like, okay, we need to do a Superman show in this same universe,
in the same style,
same style, right? But like the animated series, like the OG, that was artfully done.
I mean, even Justice League and Justice League Unlimited are better than the Superman show.
I've never seen Justice League Unlimited. So.
Yeah, those shits are hard, bro.
Okay.
Shit's hard. Even Batman Beyond is better than Superman the Animated Series.
I mean, Batman Beyond is hard, man. Like, they've been like, can we get a Batman Beyond movie?
Yeah, instead of having Bruce be, you know, because it's revealed in Justice League Unlimited that Terry is a genetic son/clone of Bruce. For Batman for a Batman Beyond movie, my thing would be have Bruce be dead and just have Terry be the next Batman under Dick Grayson and what's his face? Damian.
Okay, yeah.
And just have him come into conflict with Damian and then just make Damian the villain because he's a psycho.
Sure. I'll buy into that.
And then we could just have it revealed like, oh, wait a minute. Terry McGinnis is actually a Wayne. He just got lost in the system. Just have him be Damian's son.
Yeah, look, I'm down with it. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Right? All right. So, anyways, back. What my point is, what I'm trying to say is, My Adventures of Superman, just as almost getting as good as Batman the Animated Series. Like, this might be one of my favorite iterations of Superman.
Really?
Yeah, this shit is amazing. Imagine Man of Steel, except just not as serious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
this. My Adventures with Superman, it's first and foremost an anime, but it really does feel like this whole show is inspired by Zack Snyder and his whole DC universe, except it just doesn't take itself as serious as this movie and doesn't make the same mistakes as those movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, they acknowledge the destruction and shit.
Okay.
And all this whole storyline that's going on with Supergirl right now, because they brought in Supergirl, fucking amazing.
Yeah, look, you've been talking about this for like the last year, and I've just been I've been meaning to jump in on it. Right? I just haven't had the time, but like look, I love Batman, but Superman's my motherfucker, right? Like, I am a Superman fan from when I was in short pants. Right?
And I'll say this: I'm so glad this show exists, because like I said to you before, I'm tired of watching Superman the movie, Superman 2, and Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, yeah.
I'm tired of watching those, just because that's literally the only good like Superman media we have.
I tried watching Brandon Routh's, Bryan Singer's Superman a couple of months ago.
It was just basically a remake of the first fucking movie.
But worse.
Yeah.
But worse.
And I don't mind the idea of Superman having a son and trying to find his place in society again. I think that's actually very good story. It was just the execution across the board in the writing.
Like, once again, Bryan Singer is not the man for that shit.
So, there's an episode where Superman goes on a dating show, and I thought that was pretty funny, and I was well done. One of Batman's squeezes, because Batman has many squeezes. One of his squeezes was on the dating show, and she was obsessed with Superman. Silver St. Cloud. Whoever the animators are, I was like, when Silver St. Cloud was on screen, I'm like, yo, y'all niggas know what y'all doing.
That's that anime. That's that anime background.
Like, yo, listen, Jeff, I'm gonna keep talking. I need you to do me a favor.
Okay, you keep talking.
Google My Adventures with Superman, Silver St. Cloud, and you'll see what I mean. I'm like, damn, bro. I was like, I wish genies were real, because then I'd be like, yo, make her come to life.
I mean, Japan's working on that shit right now, man. They got robots.
They got Jin.
All right,
they could conjure up Jin from another dimension. Hopefully. Sure. So yeah, My Adventures with Superman. I cannot wait for these last 2 episodes to pop off. It already got renewed for a season 3 because it's that popular. Oh, I see your face.
Oh God damn. Oh, she's thick. She's thick.
Yo, right?
Yo, that's a big back bitch. I love that. Thick. Okay.
That is my type. Somebody reached into my mind and was like, what's Brandon's perfect woman? And drew that.
All right, come through My Adventures with Superman. All right. Yeah. Right now, if you have if you're listening to this and you're a pervert like us, do exactly what I just did and enjoy the rest of your fucking day. God damn.
So
that's thigh meat.
So the last thing on TV I'm going to get to is Star Trek Discovery, the final season. I like this. A pretty good final season. Throughout this show, and even like he's in it basically as a co-star in this final season, it's just weird to see David Cronenberg on this show and then have him go around poo-pooing superhero movies. I'm like, but bro, you're on Star Trek Discovery.
Wait. Rewind. Cronenberg is in Discovery?
Yeah, I've been saying this
ever but like as a reoccurring?
Yeah, he's been in it since season 2.
Wow.
And this season, he is basically a co-star.
Yeah, like you. Mm,
Yeah,
but-
it's something about that sits with me wrong. That he's like he'll be on this show
right.
playing this character for years, but
Right.
then anytime a superhero movie comes out, he's like, "Oh, those aren't real movies. It's just silly." And I'm like, "Bro, you made a movie about people with psychic powers who makes people's heads explode. You made a movie about a man who turns into a giant literal fly."
And like we'll get into this next week because I've been working my way through like Cronenberg's like earlier shit, and he doesn't have room to fucking talk about anything. Right? Like once again, Cronenberg, right place, right time, right? When it comes to his career.
I mean,
Right.
he's
Those
one of the
first-
few. He's one of the few people from Canada to pop off.
Yeah, like if it were like based on those first 3 of his movies, right? That man should not have a career. So, like, and honestly, all of his shit is superhero adjacent,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Because Scanners is basically a superhero movie.
Scanner's superhero movie. I'll even give you Videodrome.
Nah,
It's like
that is a body horror.
Yeah, but like you could say like the EC comics, sort of like the more extreme like DC Dark Universe type shit. Like, it's adjacent.
I mean, didn't he do a history of violence?
Yeah, that's straight up a comic book. Yeah.
Yeah. The only
Yeah.
difference is they change like halfway through. The stories change.
Right.
Like you could literally readapt a history of violence from the comic book, and it'd be a different movie. Honestly,
I haven't read a history of violence in fucking years.
yeah, I prefer the graphic novel over the movie.
Oh, yeah, well, always. I mean, always.
Yeah, man. Star Trek Discovery, you could clearly tell they had more stories to tell
Mhm.
because that last 15 minutes, that feels tacked on. That feels tacked on. The last 15 minutes of the show, like clearly they went back months later. It's like, okay, we got to film a 15-minute coda to wrap this shit
everything,
up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, man. Yeah, and that's why I'm good on Star Trek, just because now this is the second show in a row that I got invested in that has gotten canceled.
I still have to watch season 2 of Strange New Worlds because I really did fuck with that first season.
Oh, I hope your shit don't get canceled.
Oh, it will be. It will. Like I at this point, anything that I like that's good is gonna get canceled.
Yeah, because apparently they just announced that there's going to be a new live action Star Trek show, and that Paul Giamatti is going to be in the first season, just the first season only, as the villain. And I'm just like, why not? Why couldn't y'all just do that in season 6 of Discovery? Just be like, whatever you're plotting for season 6,
Right.
have him be the main villain.
Yeah, it's fine. This is why Benedict Cumberbatch was fucking Khan. Because motherfuckers just making dumb moves.
Yep, I mean, clearly, y'all can't even get the 4th movie off the ground with the reboot
like the
cast.
And like those motherfuckers are not getting younger.
Yo, no, Chris Pine looks old now.
Right, Chris Pine, Simon Pegg,
Yeah,
looks old.
yes,
Right.
yes.
So yeah.
John Cho also looks pretty old now too.
Right. I mean, and I get it. You have to with Anton Yelchin dying. Like, I guess it's gonna be hard to explain that. Like they want to give reverence to him and the character. But they should have been working on that.
When you have a script overseen by Tarantino and people say that is one of the best scripts ever written, and come to find out that was based on one of the best episodes of TV, because that's one of the few episodes of the OG show I saw was the episode where Kirk and Spock go to Earth and start working at that food bank, and he falls in love with that chick. I was like, this is one of the best episodes of TV. And then to find out That whole movie was based on that episode, and they said that was one of the best scripts ever written. And that's before even Tarantino
Put his hands
punched it
on.
up. You know what I mean? Like, he hired a specific screenwriter to adapt that episode for his movie. And then before he even punched it up, Paramount's just like, we're gonna pass.
I was like, it's too good. It's too now.
The fact that y'all didn't want to pay Chris Hemsworth for the script that they had, where they were going to travel back in time, and it was going to be a two-hander with two Kirks running the Enterprise.
Okay.
And they didn't want to pay Chris Hemsworth. The fact that y'all had Michelle McLaren, a noted director from TV. She was the first person WB approached for Wonder Woman. And she worked hard on her version of Star Trek 4. And they were just like, yeah, nah.
Look, Paramount, you're sinking, right? Like your enterprise is crashing into Earth, right?
Yeah, and it looks like Sundance might actually end up buying Paramount, which sucks because David Ellison, he's an idiot.
I mean, his sister, right? Is Megan?
Yeah, his sister Megan.
His sister's great.
Oh yeah, they two different people, right? Two different people. Like, her business acumen might not have been good because obviously Anna Peruna's not around, but the stuff that she funded and like the filmmakers she put on
art, she got the art.
Come on, man! Like, there's legendary filmmakers who said this movie would not have gotten made if it wasn't for Megan.
Right.
And Megan had her, and they even said, they're like, yeah, we might have been making movies and like we're respected, but like she's a producer on this, and I respected her enough where she voiced her opinion. We listened. Like, so many filmmakers said that, and I'm like, okay, she clearly knows. Her brother, like, after the whole Annihilation thing, I'm just like, why are you even making movies?
Because
like, even Scott.
Sibling rivalry or whatever.
I am just glad that Scott Rudin was a producer on that movie. Because Scott Rudin, even I just remember reading that Scott Rudin was screaming at David Ellison like, nah, fuck you. This is the movie we set out to make, and we're sticking by it. Even if I don't care how low it tests. This is the movie we set out to make.
Yeah, like sometimes you start making a movie, like, you know what the movie you're making.
Yeah.
Like reading Annihilation, right? Like reading the book. First off, like, there was no way this was going to be commercially successful, right? Like, I forgot to mention this. I read Project Hail Mary, right? That the new the dude who did The Martian.
Right. It's his new book, and Phil Lord and Chris Miller are currently literally shooting it right now. And you know who the DP is?
Who?
Greg.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Right. I was like, damn, that dude is booked and busy.
Yeah. But like reading Project Hail Mary, right? It's going to be a great movie. It's not going to be successful. Right?
We said that about Lord and Miller so many times.
Right? No, but I'm not. It's gonna be a great fucking
We'll see.
film.
We'll see.
It's gonna be weird as fuck.
We'll see. Those dudes can sell anything.
We'll see. I'm hoping. But just like The Martian, it's smart. It's real smart.
And The Martian was a hit. So
we'll see. But like reading Annihilation as like, yeah, this is not gonna make it. Like the fact that you tried to make it into a movie, because it's a book trilogy, right?
Right.
Like the fact that you tried in the first place is like, oh, okay, that's ballsy.
David Ellison, and you look at the type of movies his company has produced, Skydance, under their banner between Paramount and Netflix. It's like you watch them, you're just like, well, yeah. Like the only good movies he's had a hand in have been these last few Mission Impossibles.
And
minus Dead Reckoning.
I was about to say, Dead Reckoning
Part 1. I'm still calling it Dead Reckoning Part 1.
You know what? You're right. I fucked up. I fuck up the name all the time. Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I still gotta buy that Blu-ray so that way when I show people, they'll be like, "All right, so where's part 2?" And I'm like, "Yo, that shit don't exist."
There's no part 2. There's this whatever they're calling this new movie, but there's no part 2.
Yo, I watched it. I was like, wait, let me make sure that shit still says part 1. I played it again on Paramount Plus. Still has part 1 all over it.
Because they don't have enough money to change the prints. Like they don't have enough money.
Just stick to your guns. Like y'all already put it out. Like just stick to it.
Right, all the marketing material.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Fuck,
Like,
it's just.
Yeah, y'all shot yourselves in the foot with that because I'm going to be getting to a chapter 1. Well, a couple of chapter 1s.
Yeah.
So let's start with movies. First off, let's start with Royal Tannenbaums.
Hey.
First time watching it, it was on the Criterion channel because it's part of an ensemble cast, and I'm mad it took me this long to watch it. I was like, oh yeah, look, Wes Anderson is either hit or miss, and this one is a hitter.
It's before this is right before he went full Wes Anderson, because this was right after Rushmore, right?
Right.
I think so. Yeah, it's before he reached his final form.
Right, because I don't fuck with Life Aquatic, and I still need to see what's the one with the 3 brothers on the train?
The Jarling Limited.
Yeah, because I saw the short film Hotel Chevalier.
Right.
Because post like this, I love this. I love Moonrise Kingdom is my favorite Wes Anderson. And then Fantastic Mr. Fox I like. And what's the other one? Oh my god, what's that one called? Grand Budapest Hotel. I really love too.
Yeah. I fuck with The Life Aquatic. I do.
I couldn't get with it.
And I get it. Like, it
just seemed like this, except Bill Murray was playing Gene Hackman's part.
Yeah, I get that. But like, this is right before he hit his final form. He hit his final form, I think, with Grand Budapest. That's when we got like the Wes Anderson that we know now.
Like, don't get me wrong, there's stuff in French Dispatch I like. I love the 360 pans in what's the name of that shit? Oh my
god. Which one are we talking
Asteroid
about?
City.
I still haven't seen Asteroid City.
I love the 360 pans because you know how he does his pans, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This time 360. So you know how his sets are fully built on that movie that he could do 360 pans.
Right. Like, yeah, I keep on forgetting about Asteroid City. I gotta like that might be this weekend thing. I gotta watch that shit.
So
I like his Netflix shit.
Yeah,
like
I
his
don't
shorts,
have Netflix, nigga.
I was fucking. We talked about that earlier. I'll take care of you. I got you.
But yeah, look, I'm gonna end up getting this Criterion edition because it is on Criterion. Like, this is hilarious. It's just funny to watch. It's very rare you get an asshole and everybody's like, yo, fuck you, you're an asshole. Because usually assholes just skate by and you're just like, why would anybody put up with this shit? But in this movie, from the jump, everybody's like, fuck you, you're an asshole, go away.
It's Wes Anderson doing Larry David.
Larry's likable. Royal is not. Roy, I would hang out with Larry. I would not hang out with Mr. Tannenbaum. Like him, I'd just be like, nah, fuck out of here. Moving on, I saw the director's cut of Midsommar. Mm-hmm. It's 30 minutes longer than the original cut, and honestly, outside of a few parts, I couldn't tell what was added. There's a few parts where I'm like, okay, that's new, that's added in. It does expand the relationship between all the characters more. So like the friendship between Jack Raynor and William Jackson Harper, you see it deteriorate in real time. And I'm just like, oh, not only is this dude shitty to his girlfriend, which is more of that in here, like the added stuff between him and Danny, I was just like, oh man, he was already unlikable in the original cut, but this one takes it a step further.
Right.
And then seeing how he treats his friends in this new cut, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man, this dude is an all-around piece of shit. So and it's not like his friends are good people either, because they're pieces of shit too.
So it doesn't change the narrative as much as it just sort of character building.
Right, and enriches stuff. Like there's another ritual at night.
Oh, okay.
They do a ritual at night where we're all just like, oh fuck, that's a little kid, man.
Oh shit. All right. All right.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm glad I got to see the right version, because I went to go see the director's cut in theaters in October.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And instead they played the regular theatrical cut. So when this version came up, I was like, all right, well, worst comes to worst, I could see Midsummer in IMAX, even if they play the wrong version. And they ended up playing the right version. It's shot in 1.8.5, so it took up the entire IMAX screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's weird to watch a movie this terrifying on a screen that big with loud sound.
Yeah, I mean, I've only watched Midsommar once, and like, I didn't not like it, but I didn't fuck with it as much as a lot of people did. So maybe it's time for me to come and revisit it.
So I was playing. I'm currently playing God of War, and you know, after a while, I stopped playing video games. Where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this down. I'll pick it back up tomorrow. So I was pretty zooted, because the first God of War I went through pretty zooted. That game's fun to play zooted. Same thing with Ragnarok. So far, it's fun to play zooted. Thor, by the way, in this game, Thor has my body type. And that makes me feel good, because now I'm like, oh, now I could house niggas. Now I could house niggas just like Thor. Got pretty zooted, and it went up on Amazon. And I was like, oh yeah, Amazon has great sound through my sound bar. Like honestly, out of all the streaming services, Amazon's the loudest, where I actually have to turn it down to normal.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, let me watch Oppenheimer through Amazon. And being extremely zooted, watching that movie loud on my TV and not in IMAX where you're just taking it in. Like, man, I was just like, I'm still in awe of how this dude managed to do a 3-hour biopic and have it move so quickly and the editing be perfectly. Like, there's just edits in this shit where I'm just like, damn. Like, there's an edit at the end where Emily Blunt, she smiles and turns her head, and it match cuts to Albert Einstein, a close-up of him moving out of the frame. And I'm just like, that is perfect. And then I love the match cut at the end where Robert Downey puts on his hat and then fucking Albert's hat blows off. I'm like, yo, this movie's fucking edited. Also, the other match cut where during the Can You Hear the Music sequence where he's throwing glasses at the wall, and then he throws the one glass, you see it shatter, and it match cuts to the atoms exploding. I'm just like, oh, yo. Also, man, my subwoofer was about to blow up watching this shit through Amazon. The entire movie, the entire movie, my subwoofer was working overtime. I felt bad. I had to go over, pet it, wipe it down, get the dust off. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Let me treat you right. Let me clean you up, because you just put in work.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's streaming on Amazon. I don't know for how long. It finally left Peacock, but it's on Amazon. Oppenheimer.
All right.
I'm probably never going to get sick of this shit.
Well, probably never.
That's why I said I'm probably never going to get sick of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to bounce around from service to service.
Yeah. Also on Amazon, they had The Deer Hunter. I've never seen it before.
Hey, okay.
It's a good movie. Overrated.
Yeah, I always thought that, right?
I like Heaven's Gate better than this. Sorry, y'all.
like, because I didn't realize when I first watched it, the Deer Hunter is like fucking 3.5 hours.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And honestly, that first hour and a half,
Slow as fuck.
slow as fuck.
It's
Yeah.
like, here's the thing. Like, it's like The Godfather, where both of those movies have very slow starts, but at
Right.
least The Godfather, it's very streamlined and it's not like meandering. So
Mhm.
the wedding is like the first 30, 40 minutes, but that's also there to let you get to know every single
all the
man.
characters. Right.
Right. And you get to see their proclivities and all their vices and all that type of shit, and exactly the type of people who they are. Like Sonny's cheating on his wife at the wedding. Like Michael is like this just reserved war veteran. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fredo is drunk, walking around drunk, doing cocaine. Vito's handling business, slapping the shit out of people. Like you're getting to know these characters intimately.
Right.
The Deer Hunter, it does the same thing, but it's just it is slow.
It's slow, and like honestly, they're not all that interesting.
No.
Right.
I could have, yeah, man. I don't know. I find it's wild that Heaven's Gate got shitted on, but this movie's praised. I like Heaven's Gate better, honestly. And they're
Like,
same length.
Like I can't remember Heaven's Gate. I gotta go back and watch that.
Heaven's Gate is 4 hours. This is 3.5, and I'm just like, yo, I like Heaven's Gate better, honestly.
Yeah, like when I first watched the Deer Hunter all the way through, and it took me a while too. Like
yes, because this is like my third time watching it, and I always start it, and I'm just like, you know what, man, never mind.
Yeah, like it took me a while. I was like, okay, I get it, but also like,
yeah, man, I was just
all
like,
the walking shit's great.
y'all hyped up Michael Cimino too much. Like y'all praised him as the second coming of Christ, and I'm like, bro, he puts out one movie like this, and y'all claim him like, because he only had one movie before this.
What was that?
I don't know, but he put out this, and now everybody's proclaiming him the next great American auteur.
Yeah, I mean, like the Deer Hunter it's fine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
man.
Yeah.
And even the Russian roulette scenes, while they're intense and fucked up, people made them out to be like atrocities. And then I sit here watching, I'm like, yo, y'all overhyped this movie, like every part of this shit.
But also, like, when this movie came out, that shit was hardcore, right? And the shit we saw coming through the 80s, right? Like so I'll give it a pass when people say like these older movies like, oh, it's so fucking hardcore, blah blah blah, so intense. Yes, for back then.
I would say
intense.
Apocalypse Now is more hardcore and intense than the Deer Hunter. And the Deer Hunter has way more violence than Apocalypse Now.
It's two. When I say it's two different movies. When I say like the intensity in Apocalypse Now comes from the fact that that movie was a nightmare to make, right? And you can tell on the screen that it was a nightmare to make.
Also, watching it, I think the intensity comes from how surreal it is.
Yeah,
most of it.
Yeah.
Like you're watching. It feels like you're watching somebody dream.
Yeah, it's a fever
bad
dream. It's a fever dream.
Yeah,
like I'll still say that we actually never leave Martin Sheen in that hotel room, right? Like,
you think he dies?
I think like the whole entire fucking movie is in his head while he's dying in that hotel, in like his room.
You think it's some Jacob Ladder shit?
Yeah.
See, I think it actually happened. I just think like it's a lot of it is hallucinatory.
Yeah. But anyway, still better than Deer Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah. Rewatched Furiosa. Went to the draft house and rewatched Furiosa just because I wanted to give it some money.
Mm-hmm.
And Also, paying for the ticket for Furiosa, I was like, oh yeah, this is why I don't come to the draft house that much anymore, and I
That's
just
just
use A-list.
that's just mad expensive, right?
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. The ticket was $15.50.
$15.50 for a matinee.
I went at the showtime was at 11:45. I got there at like 11 just so I could watch the pre-show.
Right.
And pre-show was okay, but like I was just like, damn, bro. I was just like, I remember why I stopped coming here. Like the popcorn was great, and the
Right.
popcorn only cost me like $18. It was
But
like,
even $18 for a popcorn, man.
but I
That's
got refills.
still like
Again, this is why I go to the draft house once in a blue moon, and I'm only going up there again for Nosferatu when it drops. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
That's why when people are like, Brandon, you should get Alamo season pass. I'm like, first off, all the draft houses are too far away for me to actually get use out
Justify
of that.
it. Yeah.
And then second of all, I don't want to pay if I'm paying a subscription. I don't want to pay the service fees.
Well, you still have to pay service fees?
Yes.
Then what's the fucking point?
Let's say you want to see something in 3D or in a premium screen, one of their premium screens, you got to pay the upcharge.
Nah, fuck that. Like,
and you can only do one movie a day.
No, fuck that. No. No. It's not worth it.
Yeah. And it costs just as much, if not more, as AMC A-list.
Yeah, because the AMC A-list is 25, like you could for like the top tier, 20, call it $27 a month, right? No limit. This is your no limit soldier, right? Like you can use it however you want.
Right. If you want to see you get 3 movies a week. If you want to see all 3 movies in a day, they will gladly let you use your 3 movies in a fucking day.
Right.
And if you see 2-3 movies a month, you justified it, especially IMAX.
Right, it's paid for.
Yeah.
Plus all the other perks like the bonuses you get from like buying popcorns, skipping the lines and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'm never getting rid of A-list, baby.
Nah.
Like, look, this show wouldn't exist because of A-list if it wasn't for A-list. Like, A-list has saved my life on some of the movies we're going to talk about in the main review.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, AMC, you hook us up.
Yeah. So same day after I saw Furiosa, because I had to kill some time before we saw Quiet Place.
Right.
I came up and I saw Tuesday, the movie about the bird, the parrot, talking to Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay.
We did the trailer for it.
Yeah,
okay. A24 movie. Actually pretty decent.
Yeah?
It's more funnier than I expected, but it is a sad-ass movie. The bird, it's surreal. Like, it's surreal as fuck. Like, the movie opens and you see the universe, and it's the universe, and you just zoom out till this tiny bird, and you see this bird, it's literally it's death. Like, we'll just say it's death. That bird's going around collecting souls, you know what I mean? People dying or people who want to die. And so you get to this little girl who has cancer, and death takes the illness away from her and gives her one request, which is like, let me spend a day with my mom. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus just fucks it all up. Like, I don't want to give too much away because it goes to some places I wasn't expecting, but I was just like, damn, you're a terrible person. Was not expecting good hip hop to be in this movie.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Like when you say good hip hop, is a collection, or was like there was a composer? Like, did they get a hip hop artist to do like the soundtrack?
No, it was a collection of songs. So they have People Under the Stairs. The main song they play throughout this movie is Ice Cube's "It Was a Good Day," because Tuesday is the name of the girl who has cancer, and that's her favorite song.
Oh, okay.
Because it's about a guy having... she says it in the movie. She's like, I love this song because this is a guy who constantly lives in shit and it has a terrible environment and still manages to have a good day despite all that.
All right. Maybe I have to check out Tuesday. Shit.
Yeah, it'll be on VOD soon because I went to the very last showtime of it.
It'll be on next week.
So, and then last thing I'm going to talk about last two things I'm going to talk about before we get back to the main review is I saw Inside Out 2 with my family, in 3D. I love the movie still. I wish, y'all Trenton niggas, go to the Regal. Go to the Regal. Like, leave Princeton for everybody else. Like, stay your ass at the Regal. I don't know how or why you guys are starting to make your way over to the Princeton AMC. Stay your ass at the Regal. The Regal's there for y'all. Y'all coming in and y'all fucking this shit up for everybody.
Yeah.
Hate niggas, man.
This is why I go. This is why I even. That's why I didn't even bother going to the Princeton, because I knew it was going to happen.
Yo, man,
I knew it was going to happen.
if it was closer, I'd go to Neshaminy, honestly, more often. But
I feel you, but like it's worth it me driving the extra 20 minutes to get away from that shit. Because I told you about the last time I went to Regal, I was watching X, right? And like these bitches are on the phone, like having conversations.
Yeah, man.
In the fucking movie.
Look, I knew it was a wrap when I saw Return of the Jedi last year, and some black dude was there with his kid. He's like, "Damn, I know this theater was this nice. We're gonna have to start coming here." And then I knew after that it was gonna be a wrap when Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Right.
When I went to that advanced screening for that, there was a black couple, and they were both sucking their teeth the entire movie, to the point where white people were just like, "Yo, cut that shit out." Like, mad white people were like, "Yo, cut that shit out." And now Inside Out, movie starts. This is sold out. Like, weekend 3, Jeff, still selling out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting there, the movie started, everybody's quiet. We all got our 3D glasses on. Niggas come in, "Yo, you in my seat?" And they're like, "No, we got here early and we bought these seats, so you need to figure out where you're sitting." They're like, nah, that's my seat. They're like, "No, you got to figure out where you're sitting." It takes them the first 15 minutes of the movie to figure out their seats, and then the whole time, their phones are going off the entire time. Like, you know how people used to have the flashlight blink when they get a text message?
Yeah.
Niggas still have that shit. I was like, who the fuck still has that shit in 2024?
I mean, you can set it for that, but honestly, that's under accessibility options. That's something you do when you can't hear, right? And I don't want us to, like, I know we sound like self-hating black people.
Oh no, because I'm gonna get into listen, I'm gonna get into our asses in a minute.
Right, because but niggas.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop.
Yo,
like,
I went to go get a refill of popcorn after the movie because I'm like, fuck that. We paid for that. We taking the shit home.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
My mom told me that the same people in the lobby were loudly saying that movie was whack. It was just about a little girl and her emotions. That shit is whack. That shit was whack as fuck.
What the fuck did you think it was about?
I was like, did y'all not see the first one?
Did you not see the goddamn trailer? Did you not? Just happy being blissfully ignorant.
I mean, and not to, I'm just going to spoil this. The climax of the movie is Riley literally having an anxiety attack. An extended anxiety attack. And it's done in a way where you're just like, holy shit, that is exactly how that shit goes down.
Right.
And my brother's like, they have in a fucking children's cartoon a girl having a anxiety attack and a mental breakdown, and these motherfuckers are walking out saying this shit was whack. And he's like, that's why we don't get shit. And I was like, yeah, exactly why we don't get shit.
We don't.
That's why niggas don't get shit. That's why we get fear. And that's why we get power.
Like, do fucking better. Like, as an adult to a child.
And they had kids with them too. That's what's crazy about it.
Like, mental health, like a whole entire fucking kids movie about mental health. Honestly, it should be required viewing.
Oh yeah, well, on the job that I was doing, one of the white chicks, she's like, I was talking about Inside Out to my coworker, and one of the white chicks interjected. She's like, "I'm tired of seeing the first movie." And I was like, "Why is that?" She's like, "Every psychology course I've taken so far, they've shown that movie." I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's good. It's true. It's like it's honest.
Also, I didn't pick this up in the end credits because me and my brother sat through the credits. They had psychologists consult on the fucking movie itself.
That makes sense.
I don't know if they did it for the first one, but for the second one, they did.
It makes total sense. It makes total fucking sense.
Shit, man, I might see this shit again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be. So I would not blame you for watching it again. Like Pixar's been it hasn't been the best lately, but when it hits, it hits.
Yeah, nigga, yeah, and I'm glad it did because Pete Docter was scared. Pete Docter running Pixar, he's just like, yeah. Somebody asked him during an interview, like, "Why are you guys doing so many sequels?" He's like, "Cause we created original shit, and y'all motherfuckers didn't go see it." And he even said, "So if this movie flops, then we got to rethink our whole entire business."
Right.
And thankfully, in less than 3 weeks, it's made $1 billion.
Yeah. All right.
And it's the highest grossing movie of 2024 so far.
Yeah. But it's whack. But it's whack.
Niggas.
Go watch them, Medea.
Niggas.
Go watch them.
All right. And the reason why I said I was going to get into our ass is because, dog, if we ever get on as filmmakers or even this podcast,
right,
I'm not helping us, dog. I work these outreach programs, and the amount of times I get cursed out or called names, and I'm like, yo, we're out here in these streets trying to help y'all niggas. Like, yo, I'm not helping y'all.
So, like, all right, we're gonna have this conversation. Let's have this conversation, all right? So, randomly, a couple of months ago, through Facebook, got reacquainted with someone in the art scene, right? And we're just fucking chatting and everything like that. And they go to me, yeah. So I was out, and your name came up, and someone said that Jeff isn't opening doors for people. And I'm like, that's stuck in my fucking craw, right? Because here's the thing. If I don't know you, I don't owe you, right? And like, I can't open the door for people that I don't know, and also I'm still trying to get on. But here's another thing. Just because you want something doesn't mean you're good enough to have it, right? Like, everyone gives a mixtape to motherfucking Jay-Z, right? It's.
Oh yeah, I hate that question. Would you take $50K or dinner with Jay-Z? And I was just like, dog, you take the $50K. Even Jay-Z, like, that question has been posed for 5 years, to the point where even Jay-Z was like, why would anybody take dinner with me over $50K?
Right. Like, it's like, you can do something with the $50K. What's that conversation? You have dinner with Jay-Z, you better be the most amazing fucking person,
right,
ever.
Have that silver tongue,
right? Because he's not putting you on,
no,
just because you have dinner with him,
yeah,
right? You got to bring something to the table. So use that $50K and show a motherfucker.
You know what, man? I'm tired of motherfuckers saying like, "Come on, man, help a brother out. You black." You know what I mean? You're not going to help out your fellow black people. And I'm just like, bro, I'm out here in these streets, and I'm trying to help y'all. And now whenever I'm out doing other shit, y'all are like, oh, why didn't you help? I'm like, nah, that's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works. And even coworkers, like, Jeff, even coworkers are now wilding out, fucking my shit up. Like, why would I help niggas, man? Even college, quote unquote, college educated niggas are still acting like niggas.
Right. And like, here's the thing. Like, if you help someone, right, that means that's on your name.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If they fuck up, that's your brand.
Yes.
Right? but they don't care. Like they're not thinking about like how does this make Brandon look? They don't. You're right. Like how does this make the person that put me on look? Yeah, like that's
listen,
do better. Do better.
Listen, I listen. I hate to be like this, but like I'm gonna be like this. I'm pulling the ladder up behind me. Fuck y'all.
Look, I can't blame you. Like if you roll with me, you roll with me. But I gotta see that you bring value to the team.
Now I know how Jordan Peele feels. I know how Ryan Coogler feels. I know how Ava feels.
Yeah,
I know how they feel. They probably hear this more often than we hear it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like just because you're black doesn't mean I owe you an opportunity, right? You have to have a talent and a skill set and bring something to the table. Like
that's the problem too. Y'all just looking for easy money instead of like when people are out here actually doing stuff that will help you directly. You're like, nah, I don't want to do that shit. Fuck out my face. Nah.
Right.
But then, like, if somebody's walking around, like, let's say I was a big rapper and I'm walking around, y'all gonna run up to me and be like, yo, could I get some money? Come on, help me out. You ain't gonna help a brother out?
But put me on your album.
Meanwhile, I'm like, yo, there's 50 people walking up and down these streets trying to help you out.
Right.
Getting you to sign up to do stuff that will help you and your whole community. Not just you, your whole community. Like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, nah. Look.
So, yo.
I was like, I hate to be like that. Like,
Hell
I hate
yeah.
to be like that. But like, look, sometimes gatekeeping's sometimes it's not a bad thing.
Hell no. Hell no.
I've had this conversation before. Sometimes you need the gate.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get into our main review.
All right.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blerds feature film review.
All right, what are we starting with?
I'm gonna start with I saw The Strangers Chapter 1. Let's start with this. Fuck this movie. Look, I had some time to kill because there's two movies I wanted to see, which was what I'm gonna do next, which is the BIKERIDERS, and I wanted to see. Okay, so we'll both do that next. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see Midsommar in IMAX. So I was like, all right, well, let me see it was this or I saw the TV Glow, and I just wasn't in the mood for I saw the TV Glow, and I was just like, you know what? I might just see that once it hits HBO Max. Because I haven't met anybody besides critics, and I'm talking about real world people, not fellow film critics who've liked the movie.
I got a copy sitting right here that I'm staring at, and it's like I don't even know if I want to watch this.
So yeah, The Strangers Chapter 1. Somehow this is the worst one. Like I'm not even that hyped up off the first two because I've talked about the last episode we did together,
right? And
I was just like, yeah, the series, and yeah, this is the worst one. And the fact that it ended with a to be continued, fuck you.
Like I've never seen any of the Watchers. It seemed like a fucking just watered down version of Happy Games or any of those other funny games, or any of those other home invasion movies. It's like once you've seen one, you've seen them all. So I was never like amped to see this shit.
Dog, this is every stereotype that you can hit, they hit.
Like genre wise, or do they have like black people eating fried chicken and watermelon?
I'm talking about genre rise.
Okay.
Like the scary backwater people in the small town, the people who are rude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This shit. Yeah. Fuck this movie.
I mean, I swear to God, a lot of the movies that we've seen this year, I swear, if you told me AI wrote that shit, I would not be surprised.
I mean, I'm mad because I know I'm going to see chapters 2 and 3.
Right.
Because I might as well. Yeah. Like, might as well use an A-list reservation, just see the shit. It was me and two other people in the theater. And they were just both like, Jeff, I'll tell you what. I didn't want to miss not a second of the BIKERIDERS or Midsommar. Right. So it came to a point in the movie where I just got so angry. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I just nodded out. Mind you, I was sober the entire day. Like I didn't have a sip of alcohol, no edible, didn't vape anything. I was just like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna take a. I was like,
So you fell asleep stone cold sober during a movie. That's how bad this fucking movie is.
and I woke up 15 minutes before it ended, and I wish honestly I slept through that shit too.
Well, there you go. So what's the name of this movie? The Watchers. What was
The
it? The
Strangers.
Watchers. The Strangers.
Chapter 1.
Let's
Directed by Rennie Harlan.
This is a Rennie Harlan?
He directed the whole trilogy.
What? What
Also,
happened?
the only person I know in this is the redhead girl, and I only know her because I watched the first 3 seasons of Riverdale.
Okay. All right.
And she's an executive producer on this motherfucker.
Because, so she could cut her rate. So they could cut her rate. That's why. Wait, this is a Rennie Harlan?
Yeah, nigga.
Yo, Rennie Harlan used to be beautiful, man. What happened to him? What happened to you, Rennie? Like, you fucking... You married Gina Davis, and you do Cutthroat Island, and you just fucked up your whole entire life.
Yeah, he lost his mind. Hey, but he's working, right? I can't even be... Like, he's working, and not for nothing, this is a notable franchise. Like, these motherfuckers did make money off of this. And they made money because the budget was low.
Right. Well, yeah, it's horror. It's a horror film. I've talked about this with my makeup artist friends and also like horror filmmakers. Like, the cost of entry is low for a horror movie based on like the return on investment, right?
Well, this is besides A Quiet Place, which we'll get to later. This is one of 2 horror movies this year that have made money because every single horror movie this year has bricked.
Well.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Because I do think the first Omen should have made some money.
Honestly, it was the most interesting.
And well crafted, well directed, honestly, out of all this shit.
And
besides A Quiet Place. Like, I like A Quiet Place much better, but like, come on. Yo, the first Omen, you can't this is not even in the same, it's not even in the same league as the first Omen.
Right. Like, and here's the thing. Like, and I've had this conversation before with you. Like, the first Omen, it was fucking masterful and beautiful, and I loved it up until like the last 15 minutes.
Right. We had this conversation. Yeah. Like, that bothered you, that didn't bother me. But like, listen, I guarantee you're gonna watch this movie, Strangers Chapter 1, because it'll hit like Max
I think it's out now, like on on VOD. Yeah.
Like, when you eventually, because I know you're gonna watch it, Jeff. You're gonna get bored and watch it.
Yeah.
Like, when you watch it, you're gonna be like, oh, that part of the first Omen that I hated, 10 times better than this shit.
All right, the Strangers Chapter 1 to be continued.
Still no release date on Chapter 2.
What do you want me to say?
Yo,
right?
Yo, what do we do? What? I'm gonna come around to this question later, but what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
We don't know. They don't know. They don't fucking know. Like, how about we just make a fucking movie? Like, I don't need fucking fucking
save
chapters.
Save that. Because I need you to say that shit when we get to a movie later. All right, let's get into the Bike Riders.
I really liked the Bike Riders. I would have loved it if it were a complete movie.
I like it. I like it a lot, but it does feel slight.
It's very like it.
And this is a movie I fuck with heavy. Like, I fuck with this movie, but it does feel slight. Like, it's missing something to give it that extra punch.
It's missing a second act, right?
Like, I'll tell you what. It's definitely better than Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah, like and honestly, I felt about the Bike Riders the same way I felt about the Saints of Newark, right?
I like this better than that.
No, but like, this should have been a TV show, right? Like, I would have loved this more if it were a TV show. This felt like if Scorsese were doing a motorcycle picture.
Yeah, because it's Goodfellas with motorcycles.
Right, yeah.
Just like Sons of Anarchy was The Sopranos with motorcycles.
Right. But yeah, it felt real slight. The ending was telegraphed.
Oh
right?
yeah, like we all knew what was gonna happen.
Right, exactly.
I was like, yo,
100%.
Tom, are you that stupid?
Right? Like, why did you even? Yeah. But
Like,
anyway,
yo, listen, I understand those are the rules, but at that point in time, after Jodie Comer was almost raped, I'm like, rules are out the window, dog. Like that shit that you're running now is totally different from what you started.
right, and like this, and it's always the young motherfucker. It's always the
Oh
Benny
yeah,
Blanco. It's always the
yeah,
Benny
yeah,
Blanco.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Carlito's Way, which also to me people love, but that's another one to me where I'm like, oh, this feels slight.
See, Carlito's Way didn't feel nearly as slight as this one. I literally
Carlito's Way is like reheated Scarface.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. You know, it's when they didn't have any Puerto Ricans and Al Pacino just played every kind of ethnicity.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm surprised that motherfucker never did blackface.
Right. He did brown face. He was almost there because Scarface, that's heavily brown.
Right. But like I'm just like straight up fucking black, fucking charcoal and white lips. Anyway, yeah, this is shot well. It's acted well. I love the pacing of this movie. I want to love this movie. It's just, it is missing a second act, right? Because you go from like the formation of the club and then things go bad, right? And there's no real evolution in it.
I would also like to have seen Benny court Jodie Comer's character a little more. Like they kind of just rushed into that relationship.
Right. And it, like, if it were a longer movie, then I would say, all right, I would forgive that. But like
that's the one thing they do right in Goodfellas is like you see that whole courtship.
Right. You see their relationship.
Right.
And like that's a perfect analogy what you said. This is Goodfellas with bikes. Right? But not Goodfellas. Right? Because there's barely a resolution.
Yeah,
right?
look, I'll say this. Everybody has been chasing Goodfellas. Even Scorsese tried to do Goodfellas again with Casino and and came up short. Goodfellas is like a once in a lifetime movie.
Right.
Let's be real. Like there's just never going to be anything like that.
Yeah. And like I fuck with Casino heavy, right? But like
so do I.
Yeah.
So do I. Like the closest he's come to doing Goodfellas again was Wolf of Wall Street, and that's a totally different genre.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, like the Bike Riders, and it's so good. Like it had me, like from frame one, it had me. It's just, it is missing something integral to make it an all-timer.
Yeah, and I also kind of wish when Tom Hardy sent guys to kill those two dudes who fucked up Austin Butler, I'm like, y'all should have showed that shit.
Right. Let's like there's a lot of shit that they should have shown. Like Austin Butler's character, right? Fucking well acted. There was nothing there for him to do.
Because Benny is an enigma. And from what I've gathered watching behind the scenes shit, there really wasn't much for Austin Butler to hang Benny on, just because when the guy was making this book, who's played by Mike Faist, Mike Faist is having a good year between this and Challengers. But Mike Faist's character, his character is a real person who actually did this, who hung out with the biker gang. And interviewed them and took pictures. Benny was the one who really didn't want to talk. He didn't really get that many pictures of Benny, so there's nothing really of Benny. Like even Jodie Comer, she's like, yeah, I listened to interviews of her character and saw pictures of her. That's how she really talked. Like that heavy, thick accent.
Right. That
people
Midwest
say is it. They say Jodie Comer sounds almost exactly like
the chick.
The chick in real life. And I'm just like, okay, that's where movies you have to when you say based off a true story, we understand like
It's
you got to
like
make some shit up.
right.
So this
Yeah.
is where you do your adaptation on and making Benny a more fully rounded character
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
making some shit up. So if you don't have that much to hang your hat on from the real person,
Then write
because
some
he
shit.
just enigmatic and didn't really want to be interviewed and shit like that, you got to come up with some other shit based on facts and what other people have said about him to fully flesh him out.
Right. Right. Because like, yeah, there's like I said, it felt like half a movie. It felt like half a movie. Like I said, if it were a full movie, right? I think I would have loved this. This might would have been one of my favorite movies of the year if it were a complete film. It just didn't feel like a complete film to me.
Right. Like I said, I fuck with it. And, you know, I said I fucked with it on Instagram, and your boy Isaac DM'd me. He was like, "You like this?" He's like, I thought it was weak. And I was just like, my opinion, man.
Yeah. No, like, and like, but I get it. I get how he would think it would be weak.
And I'm not saying he's wrong because he's not. Like, I get why people wouldn't like it, but I dug it. But I don't dig it enough for me to A, watch it again, or B, buy it. What's funny?
No, like someone sent me a text message.
Oh, all right. Yeah, like it's just like, yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're getting what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like it's disappointing because you can see the potential in it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's what makes it even more like heartbreaking because you could like it could have been an all-timer.
Yes.
It really could have been.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, there's not a Jeff Nichols movie I don't like. Like, I still have to see his first movie, which is Shotgun Stories, but, you know, Take Shelter, Loving's also on the weaker side, but I like Loving, and Midnight Special is amazing.
Yeah, I love Midnight Special. I've never seen Loving.
It's a good movie. It's like this. You're going to watch it and you're going to be like, this is good. Could have been better.
Right. It could have been great. Right. And I think that's a lot of Jeff Nichols' work. It's like, it's really good, but it could be great.
Mud. I forgot he did Mud.
I haven't seen Mud either. I hear great things.
Oh shit, Mud is his best movie.
I hear great things about Mud.
Yeah, Mud is definitely his best movie. So that's the Bike Riders. Let's get. I guess I'll do Longlegs next.
Yeah, man. I want to hear what you have to say about this because I really want to see this fucking movie.
This came up last minute, right? From the Guild at that. This wasn't through us. This was from the Guild because Neon, they are hard.
They don't fuck with us.
Yeah. So when I got this, I was like, oh shit, all right, yeah, I'll go. It was my day off, the only day I don't work, and I was like, I could see Horizon the same day. I'm disappointed, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like it was trying to be the next generation's Seven or Silence of the Lambs. Like, it was trying a little too hard. Nick Cage is doing Nick Cage. He plays the title character, and he's unrecognizable. I'll be real with you. Like, if he wasn't for the vocal cadence, I wouldn't even know that was Nicolas Cage.
Okay. All right.
But he does have a couple of parts where it goes full Nick Cage.
Because like everything I'm hearing is the hype around this is Nick Cage's Longlegs is like in the pantheon now of great horror villains. Is that true?
Longlegs isn't in it enough for that to happen, just because it's a whole mystery about who this guy is, why he's doing what he's doing, and how he's doing what he's doing. And so when it's revealed, like, he's gone, like, as soon as they find out and get him, like, it's all resolved, and then the real twist happens, and you're just like, I don't know, by the end of the movie, I was just like, this felt like a lame-ass hybrid of Seven, Silence of the Lambs, and Rosemary's Baby, because the devil is also a part of this.
That's disappointing because like
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but it's just.
but because the hype machine
Yes.
behind this.
Yes, and that's
right.
the problem is like this movie was hyped up and even the trailers freaked me out.
Yeah.
Like I think and the movie also the other problem with this movie for me, too many fucking jump scares.
Yeah. And honestly, that was the thing about the first Omen that I really loved. Like there are jump scares, but it was mostly predicated on building tension.
Right, and the
Right?
atmosphere, like nothing's scarier to me than atmospheric
Right?
horror. That's why The Exorcist freaks me out, right? That's why fucking The Shining freaks me out. Because what freaks me out is the atmosphere of
Right,
something that is lurking and coming up on you rather than, boo, you know?
Yeah, because like atmosphere, you can get that same vibe watching a movie 15 times. A jump scare, once you're scared once you get that jump scare out of you once, right? That'll never get you again.
Right.
Right? In a movie.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, Jeff. I'm gonna tell you see it because you might actually like this more than I do. Like, quite honestly.
But like I'm harder on horror because I cut my teeth in horror, right? So I might actually dislike it more than you.
I don't know. Maybe. It's just the hyped. Honestly, I probably would have liked this a little more if it wasn't so hyped up. Like, it killed it for me. The hype killed it. And, like, the trailers were too good. Like, y'all made the trailers for this too fucking good.
Is it better than Skinamarink? That's all I ask.
Yeah.
And once again, fuck Skinamarink. Fuck that movie. Fuck everyone who was involved in that fucking movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, there's parts of it that had the entire audience laughing because this was a press screening and it was pretty fucking full.
Right.
Because it was at Park Avenue and you know how small that shit is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, if you love horror, definitely check it out. But everybody else, wait till like September when it drops on Hulu because it's a neon movie. All neon movies go to Hulu. Like I told my brother when I came back, I was like, "Yo, you could just wait for Hulu."
Is it even September? I mean, that shit might drop this month.
Well, it's dropping later this month. It's July 12th in theaters.
July 12th in theaters. I swear it'll be. Give it till August, the second week of August.
They said they announced the home video date already for it.
Did they?
Yeah, it's September 9th.
Okay.
I was like, damn, Neon, y'all don't have no faith in this motherfucker, huh?
Right? Like,
also, weird time to put this movie out. Like, I feel like this movie would fucking kill at Halloween.
Well, they know what they're doing, right? They know what they're doing.
I mean, its parent company was just bought out by a major studio, so you tell me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna do Fly Me to the Moon next. This is still under embargo, but fuck it. I was actually invited to the world premiere.
Oh shit!
And they were like, you can only bring yourself. I was like, I can't bring my reviewing partner. They're like, no. Then yesterday, 2 days after I've seen this, they're just like, oh yeah, we have some more room at the world premiere if you want to bring your partner. I was just like, I saw it already. And they're like, wait, how? And I was just like, y'all screened it at the AMC in Princeton. And they're like, oh shit, we didn't even realize that. So Jeff, get this, before I get into the movie, you know how there's secret movies?
Yeah.
This was the secret movie. So not only was it the secret movie, they're also doing a sneak preview tomorrow night and Saturday night. And the world premiere that I was invited to, that they decided then to say, hey, you want to bring your reviewing partner to?
Right.
Is Monday. And now I'm glad because, like, look, we've went to a Sony premiere and that shit was chaos.
Yeah, it was bullshit. It was honestly.
And I was only going to it because, again, Mondays are one of the rare days I'm off.
Right.
And I was just like, sure, I got nothing else planned. But now that I've seen it, I'm like, thank God. Because if I had went up to see this shit that late at night, and I know The show time is at 7. It wouldn't start till
starts till
7:30.
It's not till 8. If it's a premiere, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, so all these average Joes will have seen this movie before critics have.
Right. Yeah.
It's fine. The movie itself, like, it's the trailer. Like, I saw the trailer, I'm like, yeah, this looks okay. And that's exactly the movie. It's like, yeah, it's okay.
I don't even know. Like, did we talk about this
Yes,
movie?
we did. Yes, we did. Fly Me to the Moon.
I can't
It's
remember.
about Scarlett Johansson doing PR for NASA because of the Apollo program is being poo-pooed by the American public.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It stars Channing Tatum. It's a romantic comedy between Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. Scarlett's a producer on this.
I mean, I might go. I might want to go to the premiere just to see Scarlett Johansson, or Channing Tatum. But
that's not worth it. You're not going to even be able to talk to them.
Right. This doesn't sound interesting at all.
It's fine. It's fine. Like this movie gets by on the charm of the two leads of Scarlett and Channing. They're so charming. The movie works because of them, but otherwise, this is written by Dan Gilroy. One of the Gilroys' daughter. This is her first writing credit. Directed by Greg Berlanti. And Greg Berlanti is the dude who created the Arrowverse.
Okay, sure.
Oh, let me see which Gilroy she is the daughter of.
Look, if you want a romantic comedy, go just watch Anyone But You.
I will say, definitely too long. This shit's over 2 hours.
A rom-com should not be more than an hour and a half. Which Gilroy is this?
What?
Which Nepo baby? Which Nepo sack did this come out of?
I can't. They're not linking her. Oh my god! I just saw the budget.
What was the budget?
No way it cost that much. There's no way.
How much?
No way. I refuse.
130.
100.
For a romantic comedy?
Yo, listen. There's no way this movie cost that much. I just saw this. It looks like a TV show. No way.
Most of that money went to Scarlett. Right? Most of that money went to Scarlett.
Well, listen to this, because I'm looking at it now. This is an Apple release. This is an Apple Studios produced film distributed by Sony.
They usually spend money. Like, they usually make shit look good.
So Apple, when this was first announced, it was called Project Artemis, and it was supposed to star Scarlett and Chris Evans, and Jason Bateman was going to direct it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Bateman left because of creative differences, and Greg Berlanti came on. And because Greg Berlanti came on and the production was pushed back, Chris Evans dropped out.
Okay.
So that's just a brief history of the production. I don't know.
I would have liked to have watched Jason Bateman's version.
Yeah, me too. Because it probably would have been not as bland as this.
Yeah, because for those of you who know, Jason Bateman is a pretty good director.
Right, because he did
Bad Words,
Ozark, and what's the other one? He directed The Gift, I think.
The Gift, which is I forget how fucked up that movie is.
That's a good movie.
That's a real good movie.
And then he did a few episodes of I think it's The Stranger. It's based off the Stephen King.
Like the HBO show, The Stranger,
or The Outsider. That's
The Outsider. Well, didn't he do Bad Words? That comedy?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and people sleep on Bad Words too, right? No one talks about that movie.
Yeah, man. This movie skates by because of the cast, which includes Jim Rash, Ray Romano, Woody Harrelson, Anna Garcia, and there's 2 new people who are also really good who play Channing Tatum's lower ranking people who work for him. But it goes through the whole conspiracy of, did we actually go to space or did they film it on a set? They address all that shit. That's what the whole movie's about. It's fine. It's fine. But I'm having hard time finding. Oh damn. Which
Nepo nut is this?
She is Dan Gilroy's daughter.
Ah.
Dan Gilroy, as y'all know, did one of my favorite films, Nightcrawler. He wrote and directed that. He's a noted screenwriter because I know his brother also is a noted screenwriter. I knew he was married to Renee Russo. I did know that, but that's their kid, Renee and Dan's daughter.
Right.
So Rose Gilroy, and I said damn because yeah.
Google search. All right, I'm gonna Google search.
She's 30, which means she's the perfect age for me.
But speaking of screenwriters, let's give a R.I.P. to Robert Towne.
Yeah, bro, Chinatown, baby.
Was still like
the first Mission Impossible.
Like Chinatown is still taught in schools and considered one of the best screenplays ever written.
Yeah. It's one of the best noirs. I know people like it's not a noir, it's a neo-noir. I'm like, listen, neo-noir and film noir are the same thing. They're just noirs. One's in color, one's in black and white. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like noir is noir. Don't matter if it's in black and white or color. Like some dude tried shitting on me one time when I was like, yeah, Collateral's a great noir. He's like, yeah, but it's shot digitally. I'm like,
it's not about how it's about the fucking vibe. It's about the story. Shut the fuck up.
About the mood.
Right? Like it's a noir. Yeah.
Suck my dick. Anyways, yeah, that's Fly Me to the Moon. It is
fine.
what it is.
That's fine.
Did you Google her?
Yeah, I mean, she looks like she's Renee Russo's kid.
Yeah. Look, listen, Rose, like, yo, we're almost the same age. Like, yo, get at me. Like, get at me. All right, and then before we get into A Quiet Place, let's get into my final solo review.
Right. What do we got?
Kevin Costner's Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1. I have never in my life seen a movie so inert that literally by the time the movie ends, nothing happened. I was like, Killers of the Flower Moon was the last Western we got before this.
Right.
That movie is 30 minutes longer than this and has a beginning, middle, and end. And so much happens over that runtime. Literally, during watching Horizon, I'm just like, there's way too many characters, way too many stories. This is clearly a TV show. It looks like a TV show. The only reason why I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd instead of 1 star is because the landscapes are amazing and beautiful, and it's hard to fuck up a landscape of when you're making a Western.
Right.
But otherwise, dog, there's no main character. And we jump from storyline to storyline. I was like, this is a TV show. Like, I've never seen a movie that felt more like a TV show. Like, this felt like watching a whole season of a television show in a 3-hour movie.
So it's pretty much a knockoff Yellowstone.
Oh, man. Yellowstone at least has a main character, right? Kevin Costner as John Dutton is the main character. And then you have his family and all the people who work on the ranch support him and fill out the rest of the cast. There's no main character in this motherfucker.
How's there no main character? I don't understand that. Like,
because there's so many different storylines at play.
What's the anchor?
The Horizon, the town that they're trying to build. Like, okay. Jeff, let me put it to you like this. Once it got to the trailer for part 2 at the end, it wasn't until halfway through where I realized, I'm like, oh, this is the trailer for part 2.
You just thought it was more movie.
Yeah, I thought it was more movie. Look, you've told me, Brandon, don't sink your own money into making a movie. You told me that. You're like, Brandon, don't do that. Always spend other people's money.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me that, and I'm glad I listened to you, because Kevin Costner sunk his own money into this motherfucker, and the return on investment is next to nothing. This shit made so far $12 million. I think it's up to 15, something like that. This shit per movie cost $50 million. So far he spent $100 million just on the production. He also had to pay for the marketing because WB is like, yo, we're not paying for the marketing. We're only paying for the distribution costs.
Yeah. He waterworlded a a fucking Western.
Dog, Kevin Costner doesn't show up until an hour in.
I'm sorry, what?
An hour in.
No, I heard you. The man on the fucking poster. The man, everybody, like, I'm not there to, it was Barry Pepper in there. I don't know who fucks in this, right? I'm there to, if I were to go, if I were interested in seeing this, I'm going there for Costner, right? That motherfucker doesn't show up until a third of the way through the movie.
Look, I respect that this is his vision and he's doing it his way. I respect that. But at what point because there's other people who put their money into this. It's just not directly
Right.
Kevin. It's other people who also paid for this. If I'm one of the money people, I'm pulling Kevin aside. I'm like, Kevin, this is a TV show. Like, I've read these scripts. This is not a movie.
Yeah, like and he fucked up Yellowstone. Like he fucked by leaving to do this shit. I've said this before to like people, like sometimes your dreams are stupid, right? Like,
right, because he pitched this to Disney 20 years ago, and Disney's like, yeah, no thanks.
Right. And I love, like, you know me, I love a Western, right?
Right, because Dances with Wolves is amazing, and that's 4 hours.
I had no interest as soon as I saw the previews for this. Like, I have no interest in seeing this.
Yo,
this vanity project. Which is what it is. This is what it is. It's a vanity project.
It wasn't not. Let's keep it funky. Kevin Costner's career definitely hit a speed bump, and it was fucking Yellowstone that resurrected him.
Yeah.
So the fact that he couldn't even have the respect or the balls to finish that just because he wanted to do this and get paid more money for Yellowstone, which fine, you should definitely get paid more money because you're a star.
They would have paid it. They would have fucking paid.
But from what I'm understanding, the what he was asking was too much. They're like, we can't pay you this much.
Right. Yeah, like so he thought he was the 80s again, right? He thought it was the 80s and 90s.
And this is my problem with this movie. This is a Western they used to make in like the 30s, 40s, 50s, right? Those Westerns are still good, despite all the problematic shit in this. So watching this, not only is it not good, but you're watching a regressive Western that just feels so fucking out of touch and dated. Because, like, I was just like, dude, Unforgiven came out in 1991. This is the type of Western you can't make anymore just because Unforgiven has deconstructed that type of Western.
Changed the game.
You can't make this movie anymore. Like, it's hard to take this shit seriously when I'm just like, dog, 30 years ago, Clint Eastwood himself deconstructed the Western.
He did the final Western.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Clint Eastwood did the final Western. Like,
and not for nothing, like, the only reason why Django works and Hateful Eight works is because, like, Django is a spaghetti Western homage.
Right.
And then fucking
Hateful Eight's a murder mystery.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you're watching this and you're just like, dude, this is a old school regressive Western playing on all stereotypes. And the story hasn't even started by the time this 3 hours is up. I was just like, dude, the story hasn't even started yet. Like, the conflict is there, but the conflict is so inert that the story hasn't started.
So that sounds like
And I walked out of this, I was just like, I hope there's a recap for part 1 because I'm going to forget about this shit. Now that we're reviewing this, I'm going to forget about this shit almost immediately.
Well,
like,
I mean,
if we waited even a few more days, I would have trouble talking about this fucking movie.
I mean, one of the movies I'm going to talk about, I've already forgotten about it.
Right, because you got to do your review next.
Yeah.
This shit, Jeff. This shit, like, I was just like, what the fuck? And the end of the trailer for part 2 is this long dramatic shot of Giovanni Ribisi looking out of a window.
Why?
I don't know. His character's not even in part 1. So I'm seeing a character. We're ending on a character we haven't even met.
Is there no voiceover that tells us anything about?
No. Most of it is like a bunch of like landscape and action shots, and it intercuts between a printing press. So you're seeing a foot going on the pedal, and you're seeing all these newspapers flying out of a printing press. Like they intercut it between a printing press, and I'm like, I guess the printing press is going to play a big role in part 2. By the way, Jenna Malone's in this. Her character is on the run. Her character gets caught by the two villains of the movie.
Right.
Never seen again. So I'm like, okay, she must have died. She must have died. Like, there's the only reason why. Because I looked up the cast list for part 2. She's not listed in part 2. So I'm like, y'all couldn't show her get killed or nothing?
Just, is he purposefully being ambiguous? Is like sometimes just people disappear?
I feel like they killed her.
Yeah, no, like, and but like, if you have to ask that question, right? He didn't do it well.
Oh yeah, like, you know, Abby Lee. She was in Lovecraft Country. She was the white girl in Lovecraft Country, and she was in Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
You could cut her fucking character out of this movie and change nothing. I swear to God. And her character is mostly tied to Kevin Costner's character. Kevin Costner's character, still don't really know what his deal's about. Be quite fucking honest with you.
Oh.
There's a part where she has sex with him, and he's tired. He's like, just let me sleep. No. And she's like, no, shh. So I'm like, Kevin, are you supposed to saying like, yo, this is romantic or what? Because this is a tiny bit rape here. And she goes off. Her character goes off with a dude who was beating her.
This doesn't sound like nothing you've said makes me want to see this movie. Like, even if it comes out, and you know what, it's probably going to come out on
Max
VOD
in a couple of weeks,
in like a week, right?
Because they have to, because part 2 is coming out next. It's July, so we might as well say next month. Part 2 is coming out next month. Like they got to put it up on Max just so
people
see it and then go see. And honestly, since WB ain't afraid to license this shit, if they were smart, not only would it go up on Max, put that shit up on Hulu, put that shit up on Netflix,
put it on fucking Tubi, put it wherever.
Like, you guys have to get eyes on this motherfucker just so you guys can build something for part 2.
But we can't get Coyote versus Acme.
Right.
We can't get Batgirl. You canceled the Supergirl movie. But, you know, a 3.5 hour sad white man on horse movie.
No, it's 3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hour sad white man on horse movie. You went all in, huh? All right, cool.
I mean, oh my God, holy shit. I'm struggling to find words here because like there's a storyline that Luke Wilson is part of, where it's a wagon trail. And on this wagon trail, there's these rich people who keep making everybody angry. And clearly there's these two scumbags who work for Luke Wilson, who are clearly going to rape the girl and kill the husband. Clearly, because they watch her. Also, only reason why it's rated R is because the blood, which honestly, if you cut around it, you could have cut out and just made it PG-13 level violence, because it's basically PG-13 level violence. And then the nudity, when the girl strips down and takes a bath because she thinks nobody's watching her. And I'm just like,
you could have cut around that too. Just show the back.
I'll be real with you. You didn't even have to have her be naked. I'm like, Kevin Costner, you just wanted to see this hot girl get naked.
So what you're saying is everyone should just go watch The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Well, I wasn't really fucking with that either. I'll be real with you. The only reason I'm not mad was because I was so zooted.
Right.
Like I was zooted, and I was just like, yeah, it is what it is. Like at this point, like even Michael Rooker is bad in this, and he has a weird accent. You know how he has a nice Southern accent?
Yeah,
It's some different accent. Like that's the other thing too, is like everybody is speaking differently in this movie. Like it's supposed to be an old-timey Western, and everybody's speaking like modernly. And their clothes, right? You would think like, let's dirty up their clothes, make this world live in. Everybody has new clothes. Like even on the wagon trail, everybody's clean. And I'm like, bro, if y'all been traveling across
Like,
the country,
you
y'all
are
should
filthy
be dirty.
motherfuckers. You are
Yeah.
filthy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to never see this movie.
It's sad because I know I'm gonna go see part 2. I know I'm gonna see part 2. My question is, he's currently making part 3 now. My question is, what happens with part 3? Does that go to theaters or does that go straight to HBO Max? Because I'll tell you what, part 4 ain't happening.
Oh yeah, well, because it's supposed to be 5 parts, right? Or is it supposed to be 4 parts?
I briefly heard 6.
6
Briefly.
Parts.
I have to Google it, but I heard 6.
The
I
only
know,
reason
but I know he has the script for part 4 ready, and he's currently shooting part 3. And I'm just like, my thinking is, part 2 better have some type of resolution, dog. Because if it doesn't, then we're gonna have an incomplete fucking saga.
So I mean, he might as well just put part 4, like the script for part 4, on the shelf, because that is never getting made. Because this movie's been out, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it came out last weekend. So this upcoming weekend will be 2 weeks.
2 weeks, $15 million. Summer.
That's the other thing too. I was talking about this with somebody else. I was like, whose decision was it to put it out in the middle of summer? Like this is something you put out in March, April, September, October.
This is a cold weather movie.
Like who the fuck decided to put this shit out in fucking the middle of summer up against A Quiet Place and Inside Out 2? That's stupid.
WBWBN. I don't know. It's fuck, man. I don't know.
Yo, WB's having a rough summer, huh? Because Furiosa flopped. The Watchers came and went. That's not even playing anymore. That lasted like what?
That a week. It literally lasted a week. Like,
so,
I think you gave your review, and then like the week after, I saw it on VOD.
Okay, and then like the only other movie I know they have coming is part 2 of this and Trap. So they better hope Trap is good.
It won't be. It'll be good for the first 3/4 of the movie,
and then M. Night's gonna blow it,
and then he's gonna M. Night all over it.
Oh, man.
Twist.
Yeah, cause listen, I didn't even know Kevin Costner had that much cachet.
Yeah, man, like he's old white man, Jesus, right? Like, he's been dropping panties, since the 80s. Like white people love him.
The only thing I can say positive about this movie is that there's a lot of black cowboys in this.
All right, good. Yeah, just watch Bass Reeves. Just watch that show.
It's wild too, because I was talking to somebody and they're just like, you seen Yellowstone? I was like, yeah. And he's just like, I don't understand how he managed to do it with Yellowstone. And then in his own shit that he is writing and directing and starring and producing, he fucks it up.
Because he was writing and directing and producing. Kevin Costner is an actor.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like I said, Dances with Wolves is a masterpiece.
But that seems like a fluke, right? Like, this has been a theme of this whole entire show. Sometimes a motherfucker will accidentally make something good.
I mean, I really hope there is a I might do it myself. I might post it to YouTube, do a recap, and post it to YouTube, so that way when part 2 comes out, I can watch my own recap.
Yeah, do it. Fucking take notes. Do whatever you gotta do. Yeah.
Yo, because I'll tell you what, I ain't sitting through this motherfucker again.
Yeah. No. Like
The only reason I made it through is because 1, I was in a theater.
Right.
2, I was zooted.
Yeah,
Because if I watched this on fucking HBO Max, I'd probably be looking at my phone the whole entire time.
I can guarantee it would take me 3 weeks to get through this thing.
Yeah, man, this shit. I've never seen a movie be inert. And before we move on, Bilga Elby, a noted film journalist I respect, right?
Right.
Like, super intelligent, way smarter than I am, had the fucking balls to compare this to Dune Part 1. And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dune at least has a main character to hang the story on, which is Paul.
Right.
Also, the conflict is well into full swing by the end of Part 1. And Part 1 ends on at least some sort of resolution.
And like from what you're telling me, right? There are no there's no narrative in this movie, right?
I mean, there is. It's like all these people are trying to build this town Horizon, and all the Native Americans keep burning it down and killing them.
So it's Sim City. He made a Western Sim City movie. Yeah. So get the fuck out of here. Dune was streamlined, right? Like you knew exactly who everybody was. You knew what their motivations were. You knew what happened to everybody by the end. Right? Like I haven't even seen this fucking movie, and I can already tell that fucking comparison is bullshit.
Yo, when Abby Lee runs away at the end of the movie with the dude who's beating her, she leaves Jenna, because she had to take Jenna Malone's baby, because that's what the bad guys were after. They're after Jenna Malone's baby because she shot and killed her husband, and now the husband's family's after her, and they want the baby back. She leaves instead of leaving the baby with Kevin Costner, like a normal person would, she gives it to a Asian family. And the Asian family pops up for like a hot second. And then I was like, that's why I got confused, because I was like, wait, am I still watching Part 1, or is this the trailer for Part 2? So in the trailer for Part 2, they're featured heavily. And I was just like, so these people are going to be in this second part.
Well, you really haven't established them in the first part.
We've seen them for like 2 minutes.
This sounds like a mess.
Like, the trailer for Part 2, I'm like, so all the action, all the shit we want to see is going to be in Part 2, and Part 1 was just one big inert. You can't even call it a setup, really. Like people do get shot, but like even that's stupid, because Kevin Costner shoots somebody, Jeff.
Yeah.
It takes this motherfucker 20 bullets to die. I'm just like, no way. It should take that many bullets to shoot this person. And all those shots went in after the 5th shot to the chest, I'm like, this dude's dead. And somebody else said that. I talked to that with somebody else. They're like, yeah, I didn't understand that either, why it took so many. And apparently somebody asked Kevin Costner that. They're like, why did it take so many bullets to kill this person? And he's like, well, I consulted with a medical consultant. They did say like somebody could survive all those bullets.
Get the fuck out of here. Theoretically, you could survive a hand grenade. Probability, no. So get the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. It's dumb. It's stupid. Fuck you, Kevin Costner. You fucking ruined Yellowstone.
John Debney did the score, and even the score for this movie is generic. It sounds like some generic Western shit.
Oh man. Well, fucking Kevin Costner next year is just going to be doing commercials for the General.
Yeah, because he's gonna have to make his money back somehow, dog. Like I was just like, dog, you've spent so much and lost so much money. I don't know what you're gonna do. You should. If I was him right now, I would be getting on the phone with Paramount and Taylor Sheridan and say like, yo, listen, I will come back and do like 3 episodes of Yellowstone so you could write my character out.
Right.
Because he's going to need this. I mean, this movie is sloppy. and like all these storylines are going to converge in Horizon when they finally get to the town Horizon in chapter 2. But like,
Wait, so they're not even in the town yet?
no, the town's not even built because it got burned down again by the Indians. Like, it's so bad that even Sam Worthington shows up and he's just like, who are those people? Because there's 3 crosses.
Right.
And you see those, it was a family that originally established Horizon and they got killed by the Indians. And a preacher came across them and buried them and put up 3 crosses. And he's like, why are there 3 crosses there? They're like, well, you know, they were here before us. And he's like, y'all didn't take that as a sign to not be here. And he was just like, well, we thought we could build it on the other side of the river. They were on that side. We thought we'd be okay on this side of the river. And I'm just like,
it's like, Indians can't swim. They don't have boats.
I was like, man.
All right. Let's move on. This seems just fucking stupid as shit. No one go watch Horizon. No one. Let this movie fucking die on the vine.
Horizon, an American Saga, chapter 1. And now we have to wait next month, August 16th, have to wait for Horizon, American Saga, chapter 2. Jeff, this premiered at the Cannes Film Festival and people hated it out of Cannes. Part 2 is going to premiere at Telluride. I was like, have y'all not learned your lessons yet?
I mean, it might, like, Telluride, it might actually, because, that's Colorado, right? Like, they might think that shit out there. I don't know.
Y'all better, listen, for Kevin Costner's sake, I hope part 2 is good. Because if it isn't...
Horizon, an American Saga, part 52, bankruptcy.
I don't know what's going to happen with part 3. I'll be surprised if part 3 even goes to theaters. Like, there's no way it's making it to theaters. If HBO. If chapter 2 sucks, because let's be real, I don't think chapter 2 is going to make money either. But if chapter 2 is just as bad as this, it's done.
I mean, because like no one saw chapter 1, so like, how's chapter 2 going to make any money?
Streaming, man, like that's their only play now is to put this shit on HBO Max, fucking Hulu, and Netflix. It has to be on all 3.
But no one's gonna be watching that shit anyway.
People will watch anything on fucking streaming.
We'll see. Like, I don't wish for it to fail. I just really hope it doesn't succeed.
This shit. Whew. Listen, the only time somebody sunk their money into a movie and it worked out for them is Mel Gibson with Passion of the Christ. And that's it.
Right. Well, because,
it's
religion.
Jesus. Yeah, it's Jesus.
Jesus been making money since Jesus been Jesusing.
Listen, I respect a vanity project. I do, especially one where you're sinking your own money into, but like...
But it's gotta be good. It doesn't even have to be good. It just can't be bad.
I'm a quote Switch from The Matrix. Not like this. Not like this. All right, so Jeff, go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna breeze through Despicable Me 4.
Oh yeah, I forgot if you saw that shit. Oh shit. Yo, that has an A+ cinema score.
Look,
are we that fucking stupid?
Your kids are gonna love it. You're like, that's my review of this movie. Your kids are gonna love it. In the theater, which was a debacle, and I'm not even getting to that debacle with the fucking screening. I heard like adults belly laugh, and every time someone laughed in the theater, I had to look at them because I was like, "What am I missing?"
It's them fucking Minions, man. I don't know what it is, but like 40-year-old white people love Minions.
And like I guess I get it. I've never seen a Despicable Me movie, right? So like this is my first foray. I like the character of Gru. I get why people would like Minions.
Yeah, so see the first movie, because the first movie is like literally the only good one.
But this whole entire movie is just vignettes, right? Like It's barely a story. It's not funny. Like I might have accidentally laughed, right? I don't know who this is. Like it's definitely for kids, but then they make references to like shit that kids would not even know about.
So you told me about the Terminator reference, and
Yeah.
before Inside Out 2, they played the trailer in 3D for Despicable Me 4.
Right.
Looks terrible, but they showed the Terminator reference in the supermarket that you were talking about, and I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's terrible. Like the only time I laughed watching that trailer was when Gru was like, "Why can't you be like your sister Agnes? She lies all the time." And she goes, "No, I'm not." He's like, "See, she's doing it perfectly now."
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
I think that might have been the part that I laughed at. It's kooky characters with funny voices doing shit, and then there's like a sing along at the end in jail, like the talent show.
Oh
For
shit.
some in Supermax prison. Look, if you're a weekend dad, right? If you got custody of your kids this weekend, right?
You know what you take them to see?
The Minions 4. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
no. You take them to see Inside Out 2.
No, like because you're a weekend dad, so you obviously you're not the best father, right? So take him to see Minions 4.
No, take them to see Inside Out 2. Don't recommend niggas take their kids to see this.
If you're weekend Steve, if you're every other weekend Steve, yeah, go
He's
ahead.
Joe, Weekend Joe.
Weekend Joe. No, like your guy's Joe, my guy's Steve, because like it just seems like Steve only has every other weekend.
I mean, I work with a Steve, and it's pretty accurate. A 50-year-old dude who's clearly divorced.
Yeah.
Drives a Prius.
Yeah. So this is
Air
definitely
conditioning doesn't work in his car.
this is
Man, yo, every time I have to, Jeff, every time I work with him, we get in the car and somebody always says, "Hey, can you turn on the AC?" He's like, "Oh, there's no AC. We have 360 AC, which is the windows down."
Yeah, so that if you're that motherfucker, if you're like if you're visitate like if you're court ordered visitation, yeah, go ahead. Your kids your kids will check that off the list of things they might have done with you. The things they might remember. Fucking Despicable Me 4.
Oh,
right.
real quick.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, Kevin Costner always like, I like making movies about strong men. Like that's what we need to get back to is strong men. But also I like having strong women in my movies too.
Oh, everybody's strong. Everybody's lifting weights.
No, he's like, we need masculinity back in men. I was like, oh, okay, now I see why you were cast as Pa Kent.
Yeah. It's like, all right, yeah, okay.
Shut up, nigga.
Okay, good. Yes. Keep it toxic. Keep it toxic. Good for you. Good. Don't let them change you, Kevin Costner. Don't let them change you. Let these woke warriors fuck up your day.
Oh man, now talking to you has me excited to see part 2. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's see part 2.
Fucking how toxic that shit is. All right, so moving on from Despicable Me 4. Fucking Beverly Hills Cop 4, Axel F.
God damn, there's too many part 4s, dog.
Yeah. Well, they don't call it part 4, they call it Axel F, but I refuse to call it Axel F. So Beverly Hills Cop 4. I am mad that this is fucking good. I am real mad. Like, not just better than part 3 good, like, maybe better than the first one good.
Whoa.
Like, all right, not better. On par. This is the only Beverly Hills Cop with an actual story.
The first one had a story. Let's not go that far.
Let's not
take it
dude,
that far.
like I am so surprised at how funny this is, how like good the action is, so, like as opposed to 3, which they even clown 3 in this. Right? It's hilarious. But yeah, it's
3's a piece of shit.
yeah, it's it's definitely a piece of shit. I went into this not expecting anything, and I thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through, except for the last 30 seconds, where it felt like, okay, they had to tack this on, right? But like, it's funny, it's well acted, the callbacks are smart enough, right? Where it doesn't feel like they're shoehorning anything into anything, right? I was fucking surprised, right? Like, I'm gonna let it sit because I just saw it last night. I'm gonna let it sit for a couple of days. I might even go back and rewatch it. But like, if anything, it goes part 1, part 3, part 2. When it comes to Beverly.
So you like 1,
Right.
and then this
3.
one,
Yeah. And then 2.
and then 2, and then 3.
No 3.
Okay, all right.
Like 3 like doesn't exist. Like,
Listen, I ain't even gonna argue with you there because 3 is a piece of shit. Isn't 3 PG-13?
I can't remember. I think it might be. I don't know. It might be PG-13. I'm not sure.
I hate when they pull that shit late into a film series. They did it with Expendables. They did it with Die Hard.
I was like, come on, man. Just look.
At this point, I'm like, who are you trying to court? Like at this point, like the fans are just gonna go see it.
Right. Exactly.
Like
so
don't try to cater to a new fucking audience.
Right. And honestly, people like the PG-13. You might as well make it R because like they're going to go to see it anyway. They're gonna sneak like no one's ever stopped a fucking 10-year-old from going to an R-rated movie in this day and age. No one.
No.
I've seen babies in hard R movies. I saw toddlers at Cocaine Bear. So
because we all do this, right? Since the beginning of time. If somebody checks your ID, you're like, all right, let me buy a ticket for fucking Inside Out 2, and then you go walk in to Horizon, or you go walk into whatever R-rated movie you want to see. Like, come on.
Yeah. So
that shit never works.
Yeah, so don't act like you have any fucking way of stopping it. So like, just make it hard.
Like the only time that they stopped that shit was AMC. They used to have ushers on nights, not during the day, but at night, like 4 p.m. and after. They would have people checking tickets and ID outside the auditorium itself.
Wow, that's that. They stopped that real quick. they need people to clean up the jizz in the bathrooms.
Right. Now you could like, yo, I did that. I remember that Keanu Reeves movie Hardball.
Vaguely, barely. Yeah.
I bought me and my friends, we bought tickets for that. And then we walked into American Pie because we knew like that dude was going to card us for American Pie. So we're like, fuck that. Let's go see American Pie.
Yeah. So like, the game is
rigged. American Pie 2. Excuse me. American Pie 2.
Oh, this was colon Pie Fucker's Revenge or Band Camp, whatever.
Yeah, it was Band Camp.
That
was the one where they went to band camp.
But yeah, Axel F. I'm thoroughly surprised that this was good. I hope they stop here. I don't need another one. Right?
You know, I did read Eddie Murphy does want to make another one.
I don't. This was a perfect closer to like Axel Foley's story. I don't need anything else. Right?
Come on, baby. You know franchises never end. You know we got a Pet Cemetery, everything.
Oh, God, sometimes
even when we're like, yo, no more, they'll still.
Yeah. So like as a legacy sequel, like I was surprised that this was enjoyable.
Oh, so Jerry Bruckheimer's getting legacy sequels, right? Huh?
Yeah, Jerry fucking Don. He put that Don Simpson. You gotta put that Don Simpson magic on it because you see the Thunderbolt and you see the Don Simpson Jerry Bruckheimer production. It was like, oh yeah, with the Don Simpson, the tag team.
So, I mean, I guess we'll be getting not only Bad Boys 5, but Axel F5 or Beverly Hills Cop 5.
Yeah, probably. But like, I don't need another Bad Boys.
Hey, Bad Boys. Well,
It
here's the thing:
overperformed.
Bad Boys overperformed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just like the last one overperformed.
All right. Well, Bad Boys 5, Axel Foley 5. Fuck it. Let's just ride it until the wheels fall off. Ride it until you shit on your own legacy. Go ahead.
You're gonna have to start putting depends on them motherfuckers soon.
Right. Like, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, yo. By the way, Mel Gibson still swears up and down he
Lethal
and
Weapon
Danny
6.
Glover are doing Final Weapon, aka or Lethal Finale, aka Lethal Weapon 5.
Didn't they already do a 5?
Mm-mm.
What was the one? Oh, it was 4 was the one with Jet Li, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though if you stay through the credits of the fourth one, the book literally closes.
Yeah. Great thing about books, man, you can open that motherfucker back up.
Y'all waited too long. God damn, bro.
Yeah, I really don't want to see that movie.
No,
I really don't want to see that movie.
No, man, it's been too long.
Just do a reboot at this
Y'all
point.
got 4, but they did the TV show.
No, like just do like a hard like movie reboot. Because they recasted the TV show, right? Because the first season the dude was problematic.
Yeah, they recasted him and they brought in a side character from one of the other movies and made him a main character.
Yeah.
So Sean William Scott's playing like a side character who popped up in like 2 or 3.
All right. Yeah. Fine. Okay.
Here's my thing. Just have it be the sons of Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I had you know what? We're not going to talk about it. It's when we rule Hollywood, things will be better.
Because we have logic and we understand that sometimes things have run their course.
Right. And we are actual film fans. And at a certain point, it feels like the people who are running the studios hate movies.
I mean, Jeff, you just put out a movie. What's the name of your movie?
St. Michael of the City.
Okay. Yeah, you just made your movie. Say it again.
St. Michael of the City.
Okay. So you just made your movie and you didn't even put your own money into it. You did your own thing with it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like all these motherfuckers, y'all gotta learn some lessons. You know what I'm saying? What's your movie called again?
St. Michael of the City.
There we go. All right.
On Tubi and Amazon.
Where? Say it again.
Tubi and Amazon.
Okay. All right. Wait. I didn't catch it. One more time.
St. Michael of the City on Tubi and Amazon.
Okay. All right. So let this be a lesson.
So let's move on to our. Is that it? We have one more, right?
One more, baby. Final review.
One more review. Go ahead.
A Quiet Place, Day 1. I want to start by saying, off the rip, coming out of this, maybe don't make A Quiet Place 3, and maybe let's just have this series follow just random people for one movie. Have them be one-offs.
Reach, because like this is a global thing, right?
Yeah.
So let's go and just do different adventures,
right.
Different survivals, right?
And this is a prequel spinoff. So I'm not even saying like all of them need to be right when the invasion happens. We could follow them at different points in this universe.
Right. Like,
so let's moving forward. Like I know John Krasinski wants to put the final period on the Abbott family, but at this point I'm just like, fuck it. Let's just do one-offs. I don't want sequels to any of these characters. Just give me a one and done in this universe with different characters.
Like, give me A Quiet Place Chicago.
Right.
Like, give me A Quiet Place fucking Akron.
Hey, let's do Quiet Place Miami.
Right. Yeah. Like, just like how different people either handle the initial invasion or how they're dealing with it during the body of the invasion, or after what happened in 2 when they discover the weapon.
Hell yeah. You know what would be a dope one? It would be A Quiet Place Mumbai.
Yeah. Oh,
Mumbai's dirty. It's crowded.
It's loud as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Let's fucking honestly, they should franchise the franchise.
Hell yeah.
to like I would love a Bollywood version of this. I would love like a the fucking Italian version. Like there's so much potential.
Oh yeah, if they do one in Rome, ooh,
Yeah. Right?
do one in
Like
Rome, do one. Let's not do London because I think London's played out.
it's been done to death. Yeah.
Let's do one in Australia. Let's do one in Sydney. Let's
Right?
do one
Like
in Tokyo.
yo, A Quiet Place Tokyo. Yeah.
Hell yeah, nigga
Yeah,
with
I'd wa-
katanas.
Yeah, I would watch that shit. This movie, like you have to suspend disbelief,
Right.
especially with like the best character, the cat, right?
Yeah, because eventually I'm just like, guys, let that cat go. It'll find its way back to
Right,
you.
like that part where the dude's going through the construction site is like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, that cat found you,
yes,
right?
yes.
Like
And it
that
keeps
cat's gonna
coming
be all right.
back. Yeah,
Right.
that cat's gonna come back to y'all.
That cat's gonna be all right,
Yeah,
right? That cat's gonna cat.
yeah.
It's well acted. It's when
Well,
it's
it's Lupita, man. Lupita Nyong'o has never given a bad
performance.
Even
Right.
in bad movies, she's great, and this is a great movie. I'm surprised by Joseph Quinn and how much range this guy has, just because I've only seen him in Stranger Things as Eddie, and like I was just like everybody
Unrecognizable.
loved him as Eddie, and I'm like, all right, fine. And then you watch him in this, and you're just like, I didn't even know you had this in you.
Right, he's unrecognizable. And the great thing about his character here, you've never felt so connected to a punk ass bitch.
Yo, man, he's just a dude who's just like scared, and he doesn't know
Right.
what to do, so he latches on to this
To the-
woman
Yeah.
because she's the only other person out wandering the streets.
And honestly, the best parts of this movie have nothing to do with the alien invasion.
Right, it's the human parts.
Right. It's when they're screaming in the thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Yo, right? Like I felt that.
Even
Right?
Alex Wolff, I was just like, he is fantastic in this. Because, Michael Sarnowski, this is his second movie after Pig. And he was in Pig. And he was good
Yeah.
in Pig. But
But
he's
Pig- but
better
Pig.
in this. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people loved him from Hereditary as well. And he's in Oppenheimer as well. But to me,
Oppenheimer,
like, this is the best he's ever been.
Yeah, no. He is he's great in like there's no bad acting in this. Even Jaimin, right?
Yeah. Who,
like-
again, gets fucked over. Just like a part 2. Because I thought he was going to be in this more. And he's only in it for like the first like 20 minutes. And then like the last 10.
5, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna be like the Nick Fury of this shit, right?
I hope not. I hope
Like
not.
he's gonna end up in this shit like on the periphery, connecting people, or just like moving in and out of their lives until we get to the events of 2. You know?
I really do. So now that it's been out for a couple of weeks, I really do like that. Because we only saw the first trailer, and the first trailer gives nothing away.
Yeah.
I really do like that she has terminal cancer, so that way it gives like a sadness throughout,
Right.
and there's stakes, so that way if she dies,
It's like
it's
she was
we're
gonna
fine
die.
with it. We're
Right, she
fine
was-
with it just because she has terminal cancer.
Right.
right?
Like yeah. It's not so much I'm not invested in her living. I'm invested in her reaching her goal.
Right. Which was which I
Get-
love, which is just to get a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, oh man, next time I'm in the city, which is for Twisters,
Right.
I'm stopping by Patsy's because they got a Patsy's near the IMAX.
Do
I
they?
googled them. Yeah, they franchise that shit now. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
there's
All right,
there's a
let's do that.
Patsy's on 74th.
All right, that sounds like we're gonna do that.
I'm going to Patsy's and get me a slice because I've been
All
looking at their Instagram and I was just like, yeah, I gotta get me a slice.
Right.
Because the original Patsy's is in Harlem. So that's how accurate in New York this movie is. And that's the one thing I appreciate. You could tell they shot this shit in New York just because you watch Madam Web, that looks like it's in Boston,
Right.
not New York. You look at other movies where you're like, oh, this is Cleveland,
This
or
like definitely does not feel like New York.
Vancouver. Like you
Yeah.
could tell, like they're subbing in other cities for New York.
Right. That Harlem shit, that was Harlem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They shot that shit in Harlem. Um, there are, like I said, there are some leaps in logic. There are some they do make some stupid moves.
Right, and the sound, I was just like, y'all, they didn't even do this much in the first two, where something breaks or somebody's shirt rips. They did that too much.
Right. But I get it, right? The good far outweighs the bad in this.
Yes.
Right? So like I will give this a super pass
This
for like
is
the stupidity.
Right. This is the longest Quiet Place movie so far. And that's the one thing I appreciate. Even though this is the longest one, it's still under 2 hours, because the one thing that I like about all three of these movies is its brevity. It
Right.
gets you in and out, but it also gets you, all three of these movies, more than they are sci-fi or horror and action, they are character pieces
100%.
more than anything. And that
100%.
holds off here. And I do connect across all three movies with every single character in here.
Right.
And the one thing I do appreciate about this one more than I do the other two is that there's bad people in the first two. Everybody here is just a good person.
Right. They're
Through and
just
through.
they're just trying to survive.
Yeah,
Right?
without being terrible to each other.
Right. I mean,
The
they're
only time they
stupid.
get terrible to each other is the stampede. But even then, that's understandable, because that would happen in real life. We'd all be
Right.
running if that
Yeah.
shit really happened.
And like the stampede scene, right? Like I was so mad at the people, right?
Right.
But that is some shit that would actually happen, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
you are fighting, these monsters fucking thrive on sound. So why don't you bring your suitcase with your rolly wheels? That sounds like a good fucking idea. You deserve to die.
Yeah. I look.
But that's not stupidity for writing. That's like human stupidity that I can actually see.
Right. I do like that this world feels lived in, and it's amazing to me that this is Michael Sarnowski's second movie, because it's so confident. That's
Yeah.
the thing about Pig too. Pig, his first movie was so confident, and I'm like, you have Nicolas Cage in
Right.
your first movie, and the movie's made so confidently and assuredly, and that's here too. Like, you could tell this guy is just like, I know what I'm doing. I'm making this. This is only my second feature, but I know what I'm doing. And the fact that this only cost $65 million, you're trying to tell me fucking Fly Me to the Moon costs more than this? That's shameful.
Yeah.
That's shameful on every level.
Well, that's what you get when people care, right? Like when you get someone who, like you said, is self-assured, right? And has a vision. Then you can do a lot with a little, right? You're not paying money on the back end to fix problems that you should have addressed on set.
But I'm just so amazed, just because they blow up the Manhattan Bridge, they blow up the Brooklyn Bridge, they blow up the George Washington Bridge. There's aerial shots of these motherfuckers crawling on the buildings. The whole subway sequence, when they're, the subway's flooded, that whole shit. I'm like, how did they make this for $65 million? That's insane.
I mean, the same way those motherfuckers made Godzilla,
But that's Japan, bro.
I'm just saying, man, like, if motherfuckers want it, they want it. They eat, they hungry, they go for it. Right? Like,
real quick, did you know Jeff Nichols was originally supposed to do this?
Was he?
Yeah. He was announced as writer-director of this from a story from John Krasinski, and he left. And somebody on the BIKERIDERS press tour asked him, like, this movie's coming out the same time as another movie that you were attached to, A Quiet Place, day one. Nobody ever said why you left. Why did you leave? He was just like, it became very clear to me quickly that I would be playing in John Krasinski's world using John Krasinski's rules, and I don't want to do that. I want to play in my world with my own rules. And I was like, I get that, but like, Michael Sarnowski made this his own. Like, sure, John Krasinski's a producer on it. He still has a story by credit, but like, dude, this is the product of the filmmaker itself.
Right. And like I get what John Nichols is saying, but also you know what you're getting into. Like
Right.
when you do a franchise picture.
Right.
Like you're gonna have to abide by some of these rules.
Right. And look,
Right.
no offense to Jeff Nichols, but if a dude who created this world did the two previous ones, he knows the world inside out.
Right.
Like if he's saying like, here's the story, here's some of the stuff you have to do, but the rest of it is on you, I could work with that.
Yeah. Like, and it's not some jagoff producer. This is the guy who created the story.
Right.
So
and,
like
and it doesn't seem like John Krasinski is a Kevin Feige where he's just like, no, we have to do it this
Right.
way. He was clearly like, look, this is the story you're gonna tell. These are the rules. You go do
have
your
fun.
own thing.
Right. And honestly, I don't think I would have wanted to see Jeff Nichols' version after seeing the Bike Riders.
Damn. I don't know, man, because Midnight Special,
Yeah, Midnight Special is great.
Mud, like
I still haven't seen Mud, but like, I don't know, like the Bike Riders really like. This is what he got. Like he was allowed to play in his own sandbox, and this is what we got. We got a half a movie. So like this, like, day one feels complete.
yeah, it has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, and
Like
even
honestly, if you've never seen a Quiet Place movie, you could go into this
without
and be okay.
yeah, without knowing anything.
And that's why I'm saying, let's move away from the Abbott. Like, I get it. Like, you guys want to wrap up their story. But honestly, we should start doing these one-off spin-offs. That's how this franchise lives.
And yeah, and like that would be amazing. Like, and that last shot
Yeah.
that last shot was
It's
fucking,
so... It hurts, but it's also
like,
hopeful
yes,
because she gets to go out.
on her own terms.
Right. Not
Right?
sorry to spoil it, but we're going to just say it. Like,
Right,
she
like,
gets
well,
to go out.
She's
She
got
goes
ki-
out
she's-
on her own terms. And
She-
she
oh,
even
she's-
says she was just trying to live her last day on her own ways in
Right.
NYC, which
Right.
is visit her father through meaningful places and eat a slice of Patsy.
pizza. Right. And here's the thing. She was gonna die no matter what. Like she has terminal cancer.
Right.
So like we didn't spoil shit for you. Right? Like
And that is why, Jeff, I think I'm going to stick to my rule of watching one trailer
right.
and that's it.
Because none of that got given away in
Oh,
that
no.
trailer.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. It wasn't that like watching this movie isn't about like if she's going to die. It's about how she's going to die.
Right.
You know?
And that's the other thing I like about this movie is like Joseph Quinn's character is just a good dude. Like he puts
Yeah.
himself on the line multiple times for her. Like when she can't drink the water and she's throwing up the water, he's just like, what medicine do you need? Because he doesn't want her to suffer. And he, at this point in time, he's like, that's my companion. I'm not
Right.
going to leave her.
Yeah. And like yeah, let's not give out anymore, but like that last scene on the river.
Yeah, that was suspenseful. I love that.
Because like we knew she was gonna be all right.
Right.
Right? Like no matter what.
I think this might be the best story of the Quiet Place movies, but part 2 is still my favorite. Like this comes pretty close to part 2. But
right.
part 2, that John Krasinski pulls a Nolan with the cross cutting and the tension, where I'm just like, that is when it's done masterfully, it's done masterfully, and it's done masterfully in A Quiet Place Part 2 and most of Nolan's work. Because
I mean, like
when
that last
shit hits, it hits.
That last 25 minutes of A Quiet Place 2.
Well, not even, because it cross cuts when they get captured by the crazy people too.
Right.
On the pier.
I haven't watched it in a while. Let me go back and watch it. But like the whole entire radio station cross-cutting shit, like
or it cross cuts between the radio station and them back in the bunker, and it keeps cross cutting. Yeah, man.
But this is a worthy entry. This is a worthy entry in this franchise, and I hope they keep it as smart as they have been.
And
right?
the fact that this cost $65 let's keep these budgets in the mid-level range. Like,
Right.
don't give them 100 million or 200 million. Like, keep it mid-budget.
Because it's wasted. It would be wasted. What are you going to do for $100 million that you haven't done for 60?
I would say the most these should cost is probably 80.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, cap it at 80.
You
Because
know,
they already
like-
made their budget back and then some.
So honestly, these should be prestige horror films, right? Like people should be cutting their rates to be in a Quiet Place film.
Well, you know, that's probably also how they kept it down too. Is Lupita is, besides Jaimin, Lupita's the only quote unquote star.
Yeah.
So she probably took some back end deals because I mean, how is this not gonna make money? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Especially with the price point they paid for it. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it's gonna make money. Yeah. So A Quiet Place, day one. If you watch it in the theater, watch it big.
Yeah, we
Like,
saw it in IMAX. I don't think you should see it in IMAX because it's just
it's
it's
not.
not shot in IMAX. But definitely, if it's playing in Dolby, check it out in Dolby.
Yeah. Like see it big, see it loud, but like if they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg to do it in IMAX, it's not worth it.
Yeah, this is the rare time where I'm like, see it on a premium screen, not IMAX, just because nothing is formatted for IMAX. You're going to IMAX for this, for the sound. Like, I saw Challengers in IMAX. That wasn't shot in IMAX, but the way Luca shot it,
Right.
if you saw it on like a digital IMAX, it took up that entire screen.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Quiet Place, because, you know, we saw it, and I said to you afterwards, I was like, yeah, I noticed the black bars on the top and bottom.
Yeah, I didn't even because I was so invested, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, so watch it big, but like IMAX is, you don't have to worry about that.
Pay a premium, but it doesn't have to be IMAX. Like, dude, this is the one time I'm
do
like,
the Dolby.
Do Dolby or do whatever.
Well, RPX or whatever.
Yeah, whatever premium screen that's in your area.
Yeah.
Prime, RPX, Big D, whatever it's called in your area. The Alamo has the Big Show. Like, that's my recommendation.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, man. Paramount needed this. I'll say that much before we go. Paramount needed this.
Yeah, well, they need a lot more. Like this can't rescue the studio.
Right.
But like, if they can keep on with this train, they might be all right.
Yeah.
They might be.
Yeah. Because like we're doing a couple of small movies for our next episode, which I mean, I'm excited to see them both. You know what I mean?
What are you watching?
We'll talk afterwards.
Right.
I'm excited to see a couple of big ones, but like our next big one ain't till Twisters. Like Quiet Place Part 4. The Quiet Place Day 1 is the last big movie till Twisters, because you know Despicable Me will probably be running the shit till Twisters.
Yeah, and then after Twisters, we got Deadpool. And that's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Summer's done. Summer is done. Yeah, it is. Oof. Yikes!
Should have paid those people their money.
Yeah, man. Because now we clearly we're out of product.
Yeah, we should have and it's going to be a couple of years for us to recover. So like next summer is going to be marginally better, but not like. Yeah.
Because like I mean, I'll be real with you. The only movie I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year is Nosferatu, and I'm gonna tell
December. Yeah,
I'm telling you this, Jeff. That's gonna be probably just be a solo from me because Focus is funny. I don't have contacts for Focus; they're impossible to get in touch with, and I already know the guild's gonna be like, yeah, you can't bring nobody to this motherfucker. Because I know we're gonna see that probably right around Thanksgiving, if not earlier.
Right.
Whew, I'm waiting for that motherfucker. Been waiting.
All right.
That is episode 125.
Oh, before we go, so we're in the middle of a transition with our podcast hosts and all that shit like that. So, if you're listening to us through Apple, search for the Film Blerds, not just Film Blerds. All right? And listen to new episodes there. Spotify, you're the same. We're on YouTube Music now, so you can find us there. We're slowly rebuilding after some tomfuckery.
Some tomfuckery that we should have left a long time ago, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
We're the Film Blerds. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, aka He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blerds podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFire XL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.